on Griffin Kingdom because I keep talking about it, and I'm like, well, now you guys can ask all the questions you want.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. We actually also have we haven't scheduled it yet, but we also have an AMA with Showtime. So we'll probably be going over a lot of that same information with him, but hopefully some different questions. But that'll be coming up in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Keep me informed on that because I will tune in for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love talking to Showtime. He's a really cool guy. He's actually down below. Looks like Trevco. I thought he was. I thought I seen him just a second ago.
Yeah, I'm looking for him. I don't see him. Okay. When he comes in, just tell him to request to get on the mic, so I won't miss him.
All right, I'm texting him right now.
Okay, while everybody's doing that, I'm going to open up the floor and the show. Hey, everybody. It is Wednesday, April 27th at 9:02 p.m. Thanks for joining us this evening. Me and Thomas appreciate you guys tuning in. We have Griffin Kingdom here to talk about their upcoming NFT project, and I'm excited to hear all about it.
For sure. This is one that I'm really excited about myself.
All right, let's see. You can just prep us on what actually is the project, because I just want to get right into it. I don't want to waste any time because I'm excited. So just tell us a little bit about what Griffin Kingdom is and the whole premises of it and how you came up with it and all that good stuff.
Just a one moment, if you don't mind. He looks like he's on the Griffin Kingdom account, which I'm on. So he's gonna go ahead and transfer over to his personal account.
All right, no problem.
I'll start by saying that I met Knows RS through Crypto Underground, and he had did an AMA over there. And most of you guys know, with me and NFTs, I'm not really pulled to them. Sometimes I see some that I like and I'll go for it, but I'm really interested in Griffin Kingdom, and I'm really encouraged by the way he talks about his project also. So when talking with Oculus about it and how excited I am personally for this NFT for me, that's when I asked if he wanted to come on so we can have a discussion. And I know we have a lot of NFT heads in our community, so you guys can, after we open it up, come up here and ask as many questions as you want, just so you get a full understanding and you don't leave here wanting to know something else. If it's any question that you have, please don't be afraid to ask it.
Definitely, that's the reason why we actually opened up the space this way, so we can just have people, jump in and chime in and ask whatever they want to ask from the creators. So are you guys ready?
Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So sorry, I'm running around a little bit crazy over here. At home I got 10 different things going on. We're getting some renovations out of the way. So, anyways, Griffin Kingdom, it's a pretty awesome project. I'm really excited about it. I might be biased because I'm the founder, but it's a pretty awesome project. I'm really excited for what we have planned. Pretty much for those who may not know, the basis of Griffin Kingdom is to allow people a lower entry point for a chance to win an airdrop fire nest. We partnership with Phoenix Community Capital to do this, and I mean, everything so far. We've got our papers out. Everything so far looks like it's working out. Numbers are working out as planned. I mean, everything's looking successful on our end. So we're not too far away from launch, and we're just really excited to bring you guys information on it. Sorry,
Definitely.
I'm
No,
starting.
you're good.
I'm starting a little bit. I'm juggling three different things, but that's fine. I'm about to sit down right now. Hey, Trevor, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? I'm Trevor. don't really know what to say. But,
How did
no,
you
I've
get involved in Griffin's Kingdom? We can start there.
so I got involved with Griffin Kingdom. One, I'm a developer. Two, I'm Tyler's cousin, or well, Nodes RS's cousin. So he kind of knew me for a while. Um, but so I have a little bit of more, I guess, technical knowledge, and he was like, "Hey, let's get this started," and we were looking into it, and then we ended up partnering PCC, and so. But either way, me and him have been just brainstorming for a while, shooting ideas off of each other, and just working through this and getting this project started. And I just the day he told me about it, I was like, man, this is such a good idea. It was just captivating, and so I was fully on board with helping him getting this started the day he told me about it. So that's
Yeah,
me.
when I heard about it, it was really intriguing because it actually had a utility. It wasn't let's create this and then create a utility, right? So I did like that it's being created and had a utility and a use case already. And to clarify, just for everybody below, you guys are officially partnered with Phoenix, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. We are officially partnered with Phoenix. Definitely have signed a contract and everything.
Right. And I do know that. I just wanted to clarify for people because a lot of people will say that they are connected with another project and it's not official. So I was just trying to clarify that for everybody down below so they had a full grasp of what was going on here. Um, so we all know that the fire cap is coming. So can you tell us what is allocated to your project and how you guys plan on moving forward with this node cap?
So yeah, I can go ahead and take that one. So we are allocated 1,300 fire nest for our project, and so what that entails is that we've made an agreement with PCC that that we would have 1,300 fire nests reserved for us because we didn't want our because we knew about the nest cap quite some time before the nest cap came out, which was pretty hard secret to keep, but we knew about it, and we didn't want to say anything. We kind of based our entire business plan around that as far as this NFT goes. So we kind of have known about it for about a month or so now, a month and a half or so now, and planned everything around it. So what it is, we got 1,300 fire nests, and we've taken that. And Trevor and I have talked about it from the very beginning. We don't want to be a one and done kind of project. We want something to last, longer than a year. Something that will actually give away rewards or give away airdrops sustainable for at least a year. So the way that we have everything set up right now is that we can airdrop Nest for at least a year and a half before the cap ever even touches it. That's just because of what we're reserved, how many we're allocating to do giveaways, and so forth. And we kind of break that down a little bit more, the actual numbers and whatnot in the white papers. And you can go, you go look and see how many exactly. I think we have the example for the tier one, but it's pretty much the same thing all the way down to tier five, just doubling each time. But yeah, we did that just to kind of make sure that no matter what, we had a concrete hold in PCC. And luckily, they were more than willing to work with us, more than willing to reserve us a good portion. And I must say, 1.3% of their company is that's good for me. I'm happy with that.
Absolutely. And to get more clarifying for the people that's never heard of Griffin Kingdom below, what exactly is the NFT and how is the project moving to get these people, if they get one, their chance at getting a nest?
Sorry, can you rephrase that one more time? I coughed and, and missed half the question.
So for the people down below that's never heard of Griffin Kingdom, how would you explain to them how the project actually works and how these NFTs will correlate to getting them a nest?
So the project is, and I want to try to stay away from keywords just due to lawyers, but the project is essentially a giant pool. Not everyone's going to win. There's 10,000 NFTs. Not every 10,000 people are going to win a fire nest. It just can't happen, right? So, statistically speaking, only 1,300 people can win a fire nest at that rate. We didn't do it to give every single person a fire nest. And as much as we would love to do that, it's just not feasible. It would take a tremendous amount of effort and money to even make something like that possible. And the person that's receiving their last, if we had 10,000 fire nests to give away, the last person receiving it won't get theirs for a couple of years. So like we wanted to make something that was feasible, that was in a decent time frame, because we didn't want PCC to say, all right, you guys had this project up for 4 years now, and we still haven't hit our cap. What's going on? So we wanted to make sure that we had enough time, but not too long, to give away fire nests kind of adequately and over the course of time. And so like that's kind of the basis of Griffin Kingdom NFT. We don't want to make every single person have a nest. We would love to. That would be great. But the reality of it is that there's 1,300 nests to give away. We have 10,000 NFTs. We are in talks of making our NFT have a future utility once 1,300 nests have been capped from our side. So it doesn't end there. But at the very moment, getting a Griffin NFT, the thing it's going to entail you is the potential of winning one of these NFTs, which overall 13% chance out of 10,000 with 1,300 nests. I mean, it's not the best odds in the world, but with the only being exclusive, and I'm fairly confident with PCC personally, and I think the price is going to go well beyond what it is now. 1 second. Sorry, I got a dog. He's a little crazy, and he barks at the fence. So he just, every time someone walks by, he just goes crazy. But yes, I mean, we definitely have built this to offer the chance of winning. We don't want to guarantee any single individual that you're going to win a fire nest by having a Griffin NFT. It would be ignorant for me to say it. It would be a lie if I said it. I'm a very straightforward person. I'm a very transparent person, and that's just what it is. We would love for everyone to win something, and that's the end goal, is for everyone to eventually win something with future utility. But at this very moment, there's only 1,300 fire nests, and we can only do what we can with those. But the great thing about it is, it doesn't matter what the cost of fire is, we still have those 1,300 fire nests. It doesn't matter if fire goes to $1,000 a coin. That's just more bang for the buck for the community. So like that's kind of like the position we're playing right now, is that we might not have a tremendous amount of nests to give away for every single person that is involved. And obviously, if we had 10,000 nests, then the price of the NFT would be equivalent to a nest, right? So it wasn't designed for that. And the idea is that you get lucky. That you got lucky, you got something, you got a really cool piece of art to show for it. You got a nest to show for it. You got passive income to show for it. And and just kind of and just kind of having a little bit of fun with it, right? I don't want to give anyone the misconception or the idea that they're going to win 100% fact, because that's not true. And I want to say this word very lightly. This is a gamble, like anything else in the cryptocurrencies.
Right. So it's just like people who go and get their weekly lottery tickets, or when they go to the gas station and get a scratch ticket, you're paying for something with not a guarantee that you're going to get it, but there is odds in there that you will. And for
Right.
some people who can't afford a fire nest at this point, they may have that ability to potentially get one by getting the NFT.
Well, exactly. And the thing is, we don't sell lottery tickets, we don't sell scratch offs, we sell memberships. So our NFT entitles you to a membership to our kingdom. Griffin Kingdom is a membership. It's not a lottery. I know that the misconception, everyone keeps calling it a lottery, and even the PCC white papers is listed as Griffin NFT lottery. But lawyers have since then beat my butt over on that one. But it's not a lottery. It's a membership. By having this membership in our space, anything that Griffin Kingdom does is to benefit the community. And I'm not saying that loosely. I'm saying we have other ideas and we have other means of potentially creating a much better sustainable passive income for years to come, right? I don't mean to say better. I should say a much safer, because we would really like to take I don't want to say too much. I'm already getting messages. We really want to take Griffin NFT Kingdom to further than just a DeFi NFT project, right? We want to take it further than that. We want to take it beyond what most people see NFTs as. We want to give the opportunity to give everyone essentially what Firebirds is doing is a profit share, but with the lottery system.
Got it. Yeah, that clears up a lot. Oculus, I know that you were hearing about it and were reading up on it. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask right now?
I was going to ask, how does the nest cap affect the project, but he already actually answered that. And what I also wanted to ask is, when is the minting of this start?
That's a great question. No, okay. That's a great question. We haven't quite released that information yet. We have an idea, as well as majority of the community that's followed like the PCC. Our time is our roadmap time is the beginning of next month, May. So very very shortly. So I don't think we're gonna have any delays. I don't want to say yes or no either way right this moment, just because I don't want to give you guys any false hope. But or to give you guys any bad news if it's going to be delayed. But I don't foresee it being delayed. I really think we're completely on track to move forward. Everything's done. We're just in the testing phase right now. And one thing that I've spoke to a lot of people about, and I'll even do a little shout out with Deeks and Dingo. They're kind of been a little bit guiding me, and on the back end, I'm one of the core members of CU, and they keep saying things like don't rush it, just take your time and do it the right way, because if you do it the right way the first time, it's going to get you a hell lot more customers than it will if you do it wrong and then have to fix it.
Absolutely, because we see fumbled launches across the board. So if you take your time and attention to detail and the love that you have in your project, it's going to show through. And without giving an in-stone date of the minting, I think that that is wise, and I think that that will prove to be a standing point for your project moving forward also. Um, so the other question I did have was, how are the NFTs going to be picked? Is it going to be randomized, automated? Do you guys know, or are you allowed to say that? And so anything that you're not allowed to say, I'm not going to push. If you can't answer certain things, we completely understand.
Yeah. So the way the NFTs are minted are going to be from the first one minted is going to be the rarest one. So you better buy them as fast as possible. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. It's going to be completely random. It's you got to pick one. You might get number one. You might get number 10,000. It's just completely random.
And then how they come up for your potential of getting one of the nest, as once the project is fully launched, there's the NFTs minted. How is that working?
So just rephrase the first part of your question. I don't think I completely understood it.
So after everything is minted, how will the protocol pick the people who will get the airdrop nest?
Oh, that's simple. So the smart contract, and I don't know. I've said this a few times. I don't know how many people below actually know. The smart contract is developed by a guy named Casper. Casper was the developer of the PCC project. He's the main developer for PCC. Freaking smart guy. I mean, this guy's I couldn't imagine doing what he does. I mean, he is a wizard. Um, so, anyways, he is putting into the smart contract, essentially a random algorithm of some sort. I'm just saying words at this point. But he pretty much put this system in place to just automatically draw what winners, and the smart contract spits it out, right? So the smart contract spits out who won the wallet address or the Griffin. I don't know exactly how he figures it out because he does all that, but it spits out who won. So let's say we have 50 winners. So it spits out all 50 winners, and then with their wallet address and everything, he takes those wallet addresses and airdrops individually one by one, pretty much like he did when they gave away one fire nest to everyone on April 1st. It's the same exact method.
Awesome. If you guys have any questions, you guys can start requesting to speak. Oculus, do you have anything else? Because I'm going to look at my notes so I make sure I had everything that I wanted to ask out of the way.
Seeing that it drops on the AVAX chain, which is pretty good and good for gas. I'm glad you guys thought about the gas fees because, Ethereum has been killing us for years.
Yes.
Ethereum is just like ridiculous with the gas fees. So, I use AVAX a lot and it's pretty reasonable. Can you tell us about how much AVAX, for those who are interested in buying it, how much should they prepare to have in their wallet on the day of the mint?
Yeah, for sure. So, as everyone should know by now, I think I've said it probably 350 times in the last 2 days. Any nest holder of PCC is automatically whitelisted. That is automatic. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to give me your address. You don't have to tell me anything. You don't have to sign somewhere. It's automatic. Day of mint, you're good to go. Just go in there, go to the mint page, and click mint. Everything, contract will know who you are as long as you're signed in with that wallet, and you're good to go. Second, you said the price. The price starts at tier 1. So tier 1 is the lowest price point. There's nothing that changes in tiers other than pricing. So tier 1, you're at 2 AVAX. I'll say that a little louder for the people in the back. That's 2 AVAX for tier 1. At tier 2, it goes up to 3 AVAX. And then from tier 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5. It caps off at tier 5 at 4.5 AVAX per NFT.
And for anybody who hasn't been able to see the white paper, I'll post that on my page. I do have it. I meant to post it before this Twitter space, but sometimes things get lost in transition.
That's all good. There he goes again. He is not a mean dog. He is a very nice dog.
Hey, I have a dog that likes to bark a lot. At least it lets people know that you have a dog there, and it lets you know when people are close by.
Yeah, you're dang right. But the problem is I live on the corner, so everyone walks by this street. It's pretty rough, and he's always barking. But I don't understand it. He barks his head off like he's so mean. But as soon as he sees you, all he's gonna do is jump, play, lick, and just make you play with him, make you love him. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. He has the most mean bark, but is the most playful dog ever.
That's how mine is too. So does anybody down there have any questions for Nodes or Trevor on the Griffin Kingdom project? I know a lot of you guys had questions for me earlier, and I said, why don't you just come in and ask your questions? And you don't have to be afraid to request. If you haven't requested to speak before, it's down at your bottom left. There's a microphone icon. You just click it, it will request it, and then we'll bring you right on up.
No, they're going to wait till later when everybody's gone to start asking us a bunch of questions. Watch.
And I'm going to say I am not the creator. We have brought the creator for y'all to talk to. And he is here. Ask your questions. Okay, we have a few coming up now.
I guess that juggled them. Okay, here we go. Josh. Omar. All right. Kim. All right, they're connecting, so let's see. Let's wait till they connect. All right, Omar.
It went Omar, Josh, and then Kim, how it came up on my screen.
Yeah, that's how it went. All right, Omar, go ahead.
I was just asking, what are the tiers? I probably missed it already. You probably already explained it, but the tiers, can you explain the tiers one more time?
Yeah, so the only difference with the tier structure is the prices. So at tier 1, it's at 2 AVAX, and then it jumps 1 AVAX from tier 1 to tier 2, so to 3 AVAX, and then it goes half an AVAX from tier 2 to tier 5, up to 4.5 AVAX.
No,
if that makes sense.
What I'm saying, your chances are higher with the higher tiers?
No, not a lick. The only reason that we have tiers is to give the early price point for early adopters.
Got it. Thank you.
So you have no extra chances of winning a better NFT. You have no extra chances of winning more nest or have a higher chance of winning a nest. Every single NFT has the same equal chances as the one behind it and the one in front of it.
And isn't it correct, if I read it correctly, Nodes, that the tiers are based on how many NFTs had sold, and after a certain amount, it
Correct.
goes to the next tier?
Correct. So tiers are every 2,000 NFTs. So tier 1 to 2,000, 1 to 2,000, tier 2 to 2001 to 4,000, and so forth.
Okay, did that answer your question, Omar?
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
No problem. Josh, go ahead. What do you got for him?
I I'm sorry, I missed the very beginning of it. I'm sorry. I just wanted to pop in and say hey, and I'm listening in. I'm not very familiar with AVAX NFTs at all whatsoever. I haven't dived into that yet, but it sounds very interesting, and I'm here to listen and learn.
How's it going, Josh? Yeah, that's awesome, dude. AVAX NFTs, in my opinion, are probably one of the better ones, and I might be a little biased, but it's probably one of the better ones just because, like Thymeless was saying, the fees. Oh my God, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Oculus. The
They're
fees.
they're a lower level than, or I'm sorry, they're cheaper than Soul, correct?
So I think they're on the same,
They're
like
they're
about
they're
the
about the
fees.
same, or I thought AVAX was a tiny bit cheaper, but I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, they're about the same. The chain you, I don't want to say stay away from, but the kind of chain you want to be careful of buying NFTs on is Ethereum.
Oh yeah,
But
no. Nope, not going anywhere near it. I My very first NFT I bought was an Ethereum one. I paid stupid fees on it, and then it ended up disappearing from my wallet. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore.
oh, that sounds rough. Sorry to
Yeah,
hear
that was
that, man.
my first experience.
Yeah, that's tough. You paid $700 in fees for nothing.
Yeah, it was a very cheap one. It was like a knockoff of
I'm
a
just
Bored Ape. It was called a new ape, and I was
yeah,
stupid then, so I bought it for like $35, and I think it was before the fees got jacked up.
yeah. I'm only teasing though. Seven
Nah.
hundred dollar fee that'd
Yeah,
be something
yeah,
like.
I don't understand the Ethereum people paying hundreds of dollars in fees for, I think they brag about the fees more than their NFTs, to tell you the truth.
You're
Yeah.
not lying.
Did
Just my
you,
opinion.
Josh, were you here? Were you here to hear what Griffin Kingdom NFT actually is?
I didn't catch the very beginning. I caught the part about the tiers, but I didn't have any like beginning background to base that on, if that makes any sense.
So this just to keep in mind, this room is recorded. So if I
Oh, I know.
don't
Yeah.
if I don't go over anything and I miss anything, definitely go back and listen to the recording. I might,
Like, what can I look it up on Twitter? You got a Twitter thingy?
I don't know how Oculus and Thymeless puts their recordings, so I can touch base real quick with you. I can have them answer that question, but I can touch base with you with that question just briefly. Griffin NFT is an NFT that provides the members of our kingdom the opportunity of winning a Phoenix Fire Nest, and by winning it, it's directly airdropped into your wallet every week, starting from tier 1. We do a specific number. I don't know what that exact number is. We can go look on the white papers, and I think we put it there. But it would give away a specific number of NFTs. I'm sorry, airdrop nest every week, and that's just random. Whoever happens to get it gets it. Um, you buy an NFT, you have one chance in the odds, and yeah, if you win, that's awesome.
So how does it get airdrop? I mean, I understand you just airdrop to you, but is
Yeah.
it based on like royalties from sales from it?
No, so the airdrop. Well, so this all the sales. We made a deal with PCC, and in exchange for our deal, we have 1,300 Fire Nest. Our partnership, we have 1,300 Fire Nests to use for our project. Um, to compensate PCC for that, we're putting half of all sales into the PCC treasury to reimburse them. So we actually put the numbers, I believe, Trevor, on the white papers because we wanted to kind of give a perspective. 1,300 nests, and this was at the time, 1,300 nests is equivalent to $3.2 million. And all the AVAX from all the sales, I think it was 34,000 AVAX total from 10,000 NFTs that we have, is $3.5 million, I think it was. So I mean, it's like a $300,000 difference. It's just about 1-for-1 at that point. The difference is really our paycheck. To be honest with you, that's the only way we're making money.
When are you minting these, or did you already?
So, excuse me. We're aiming for the end of May, the first week of May. We haven't released the official announce date, but if you follow Phoenix Community Capital, you'll see in their white papers that, or I'm sorry, their roadmap, that they have us, prepared to launch for that time period, first week of May. So we're hoping end of May. End of May, and first week of May, the end of the first week of May, that we're ready to launch and everything's good to go.
Is it a fair launch or?
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is it going to be like whitelist or
Yeah.
fair
So
launch?
if you hold in, Trevor, actually, if you want to go ahead and answer it, I'm sorry, I've been taking the spotlight.
No, you're good. Yeah, we're gonna whitelist, and so we're gonna whitelist the first 2,000 NFTs. So whatever happens first, if the first 2,000 NFTs sell, or 3 days passes. So if 3 days passes and 2,000 NFTs don't sell, we're gonna open it up to the public for everybody else to buy. And again, whitelisters, you are whitelisted either by owning a nest currently or winning one of Nodes RS or Griffin Kingdom's whitelist giveaways, or
Deeks
those are the ways. Sorry.
I was saying Deeks as well had one. So if you want a whitelist giveaway from Deeks, or I think that's actually it. I think just Deeks is the only person that's giving away whitelist spots at this point.
Right, but then after that allotted time or amount of NFTs sell, we are opening it up to the public.
Good stuff. Did you have anything else, Josh, or can we go on to Kim? All right, go ahead, Kim. What do you got?
Well, I was my question was just about the whitelist, and so Trevor just answered it. So since Deeks is here, Deeks, on your page, your Twitter page, does it tell how to get on the whitelist?
I can bring Deeks up, but I believe Deeks' whitelist, that the giveaway he was doing, I believe that is already completed, but he's coming up now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there really isn't any way to get on the whitelist at this point, or
So stay tuned, because we are looking. We haven't quite figured out exactly how we want to do a whitelist giveaway for like our Discord members. So if you're in our Discord, just keep an eye out. We're gonna post an announcements if we decide to do it. But we're trying to figure out exactly how to do it the proper way without kind of overloading the server with bots or anything. Just kind of people just doing spam chats to get rank or anything. We're trying to find that fine line of what is the best course of giving additional whitelist spots away. So don't lose all hope. I know it's tough. It's like crap. I'm trying to get a whitelist spot, but I think we are going to have another way. I can't say for certain. I don't want to tell you a lie. I'm pretty certain that we're gonna go ahead and do a giveaway on Discord.
Well, I'm keeping my eye out because I've been wanting that whitelist. I've been watching and watching and watching.
Thymeless, you're a core member of CU. What are you talking about?
I'm a core member now, but in the beginning I was not. But yeah, no, I'm still watching. I want to do it. I'm getting in wherever I can. I'm going to share and keep doing what I do.
Can I ask a question that may be silly to you, Griffin?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right. So, is there anything in your white paper that's gonna like give directions on how to get to mint the NFTs? Or I mean, I'm so lost in NFTs, and I'm trying my best to get into it, give Bobby, some love. Each person that's around Timeless and OV, I'm trying to, make sure we all seem like family. And so, but I'm really lost, because I mean, I just kept just throwing it to the back. I can't even get into these NFTs. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on, and I just feel stupid.
And that's all right. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody's got to learn. But yes, absolutely, there is a section in our white paper labeled FAQs, and in the FAQ section, there's a minting section specifically. And one of the questions is, how do I mint an NFT? And so you can mint an NFT by connecting to the Griffin Kingdom site when that is launched, using your wallet, such as MetaMask, and ensure you're on the Avalanche network. From there, click mint and the number of NFTs you would like to mint, and then make sure you have enough AVAX in your wallet to pay for it, and from there you'll be good.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to know that you guys have that FAQ on the white paper.
And I'm gonna go ahead and add on to that is once we get closer, we're still, like I said earlier, we're still testing everything. We're still making sure everything works seamlessly before we launch the website and all that. So as we get closer, I will personally create an instructional video of how to buy an NFT. I will post it on Griffin Kingdom. I'll post it on our Discord. I'll pretty much post it anywhere I can, just to give people who are trying to get into this space the kind of the article, or I'm sorry, the video they need to do a one-stop shop. Just get everything done. Go to this video that shows you exactly how to do everything, exactly where to go. And I'm going to try to do it. It's going to take a little time, just because I want to make sure I do it right. I don't want there to be any potential of scammers manipulating anything. So it's going to be something like, go to Discord, go to our Discord channel, go to our official links, click the official link to our webpage, so forth. So I mean, it just make sure, it might be a couple extra steps that might not seem necessary, but it's just to make sure that we'll keep your guys' accounts safe, not clicking on any scammer NFTs or any dupes or anything like that.
I actually just posted the Griffin Kingdom white paper in the space, guys. So if you scroll up, you'll see it there. So for anybody who had questions, I just posted it, and the white paper is actually very well written, and it's really good, guys. I went to confirmation on that because I've read it about 4 or 5 times, so it's pretty easy to understand, guys. So I posted it above for everybody.
Yes, it's really easy to understand, and it's beautiful. It looks beautiful. It's better than just the white paper.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. It's funny because I was talking to Thymeless last week, and I think it was last Friday, and she was like, I think every time I look at a project, and she was just randomly talking, right? And she was like, every time I look at a project, I always go to their white papers. I always spell check stuff, Grammarify or whatever, the Grammarly or whatever it's called, and make sure everything's good, because that shows a lot about a company. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna love my white paper then.
Oh yeah, I was checking for that too. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I check for errors too, because spell check is free, so, and commas and stuff are free too. So I always make sure that has been taken care of.
Well, just to make you feel a little bit better, OV, we paid for the premium subscription of Grammarly. Yeah.
Yes.
I love Grammarly. I used it in college, and I use it still today.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's the tools out there, and I really liked when I read through it. Nothing was complicated where it made you like, hold on, what did I just read? And have to backtrack and make sure that you read it. Everything was in a good context. It made me feel comfortable. I did not have a lot of notes on it when I was done, which says a lot because I am a note freak going over a whitelist. The same way I try to tell people in our space to really go through, read it through, then go through with a fine-tooth comb, make notes. Those notes are what you take to the team. You guys made it really, really easy to understand. You didn't use a lot of different phrases or words that not everybody would understand. So for that, I'm super appreciative, and it will also help with getting people into the project because they can read it and fully understand it.
And that's exactly what we wanted. Our goal and our main goal in this project was to offer complete 100% transparency to all of our members, and that was the goal. And I'm so glad that you don't have as many questions coming towards this AMA, because I hope I've answered them all already in the white paper, and it's just clarification at this point. And that was the potential, or that not potential, that was the ideal behind building our white papers so detailed, adding all the FAQ questions we added. I mean, we were looking at other projects, and I'm not going to say any names, but some of these other projects are kind of crappy when you look at FAQ questions. They have like 2, 3. It's like, how do you get away with this, right? I mean, they're successful projects too. It's kind of crazy. But we wanted to make sure we covered every single question that anyone had to ask. And let me tell you, that's going to be an updated FAQ, and we're going to constantly update it to make sure that I've been sitting here with a pen and paper waiting to write down a question that someone asked me that I would like to add to the FAQ. So I mean, like, we are constantly trying to be as transparent as possible and give you guys as much information up front as possible, so that there's not much confusion. So I love hearing that. Thank you, guys.
Yes, no problem. And thank you for doing that. And I think a big thing that comes along with it is you're an investor first. You've been in crypto. Now you're building a project. So I think when you're not coming just from the development side and you've been an investor first, you're able to see and go back and forth. What would I have liked to have seen in a project that was doing something similar? What would have drawn me into? How is it the best way to explain it to somebody who may not fully understand even the NFT space? So I give you a million kudos for that, because you do make the job a lot easier, especially like in our space. When somebody, after this, it's inevitable, they will come with questions that they didn't want to ask during here, and I can confidently send them to the white paper and say, at this section, go ahead and just take a read. And if you have any questions after that, I have no problem helping you, or you can link up with NodesRS on Twitter or in their Discord. So absolutely a beautiful write-up, and I will give you your flowers over and over for that, because you made my job a whole lot easier. And I did see Shay came up, but I did see Josh was raising his hand. Did you still have something?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's go, because Crypto IP was here. Let's go to him
Oh,
first.
I
IPA,
didn't see him. Yep,
yeah.
go ahead.
He came on the mic. Go ahead, Crypto IPA.
Oh, appreciate that. Hey, first of all, thanks so much for coming on and telling us more about the project. The question that I had was, how did you guys come to the decision to go with more of the lottery style system versus just, you guys have X amount of nests, and whatever those are earning, you pay that out to all of the NFT holders? And then the second part to that question is, for those who don't end up winning nests, what happened with those NFTs that were minted that they didn't end up winning one of the nests?
Okay, so I'm gonna tackle your first question. I think you might have a little bit of misunderstanding of how we do things. We did change up just a little bit about a month and a couple weeks ago. Our original idea was to buy nest and then use the rewards to airdrop, but now it's just a straight 1,300 nest that are going to be they won't even be created until they're airdropped into your wallet. That's how we have that set up right now. As far as I can't remember I remember the second part of your question. Was what's left of the NFTs that didn't win an S? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I guess part of it was a misunderstanding. I didn't realize that the nests weren't selected until then. So I guess that kind of makes it a moot point.
Yeah. No, so it's just as people win, that we get pinged on what their address is, on their smart contract side. We take that address and we airdrop the nest directly into your wallet. And there's you said something that you probably didn't mean this, but I'll answer it anyways. You pretty much kind of said, like, what if they don't want it? Well, too bad. You're getting a nest. There's no other.
No, I had said, what if they don't win it? What if they don't win one of the nests? So you have X amount of NFTs and only 1,300 nests to give away, right?
Right, exactly. I thought you were saying like, what if they don't want the nest and they just want like the coins? Well, that was like one of the big deals of our project was not to give coins away, but to
Right.
airdrop nest directly into your wallet. Because Trevor and I, Trevor's the co-founder, and Trevor and I, we really really think that everyone deserves passive income. We think it is in everyone's livelihood and everyone's life that needs to have some type of passive income. It doesn't have to be crypto, but we really believe that you can't live a fulfilling life without it. And so that was the entire purpose of this project, was to bring the ability to have a passive income stream, to enjoy your life to the fullest, and just be able to, even if it doesn't change your life drastically, hopefully it just helps. Hopefully this one fire nest that you might win from this project helps you get by and not have to stress at work every day, not have to worry about if you have a job, or not have to worry about if you can pay for your vacation again, or not have to worry about anything that you don't have to worry about. I don't want people to live this 9 to 5 lifestyle. I hate it. I hate the idea that everyone is so content with living this 9 to 5 or the salary job or anything. They're stealing your time, and that's one thing you can't get back is your time. So that was the biggest point for us, was that we wanted to help people create passive income so they can enjoy their life a lot better. And Trevor actually said this. He says I think we put it in the white paper, but he said that we want people to live a more fulfilling life, and that's exactly what we are about.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming up.
Who do we have next? We have was it Shay or was it
Shay.
Shay? Okay, yeah, Shay. Hey, Shay.
Hey, Oculus. Hey, Thymeless. I appreciate y'all.
Thank
Griffin,
you.
Trevor,
Hey.
thank y'all for showing up. I have two questions. So, the tiers, uh, I read the white papers earlier today, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the tiers are based off of the amount of NFTs sold. So, if you do not sell all of your NFTs, you don't get all 1,300 nests. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the way that our tier structure works is that the giveaways, airdrop giveaways, start at tier 1, and they finish at, or not finish, but at tier 5, they're at their maximum giveaway amount. So one second, I got a text. Sorry. So it makes a noise. I couldn't hear anything for a second. So anyways, the basis of it is that once we get to tier 1, we have set a specific number weekly that we're airdropping until we get to tier 2. Once we get to tier 2, it goes to that new number, right? All the way until we get to tier 5. So there hopefully will never be a case where it doesn't get to tier 5 and we just have 200-300 nests sitting around, and that's it. We don't have any way to do anything. But if it does, then our project does still go for over a year and a half. If we don't get to tier 5, that's fine. If we only get to tier 3, we can sustain that still for quite some time, even if we never hit the 1,300 nest count that we're allocated, because that's only contingent on us obviously selling everything so we can pay for those nests, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate that. I just know that the fear in the market right now is insane. But you definitely answered my question. My follow up question to that is, if let's say I get in at tier 1 and I receive a nest, am I back in the population to receive a second or any other rewards, or am I now knocked out and then everybody else has a slightly increased chance of receiving one?
Absolutely not, you greedy man. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, every person has the same opportunity every single week. Doesn't matter if you've won once. It doesn't matter if you won 10 times. The likelihood of you winning 10 times is very low. But we don't taper it. We don't bother with it. If you happen to win twice, that's awesome. The reason we did this was for third-party marketplace. We didn't want to destroy the third-party resale value. We want the resale value to go up, if anything.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank y'all, Thomas. Thank you, Oculus. Thank you, Griffin.
No problem. Thank you for coming up and asking questions. Go ahead, Kim.
So, I'm just trying to be smart. So you really probably need to get in each tier, so you have a chance each week. You'll make your maximize your chances of grabbing a nest.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So
And,
the tiers. So you don't need to buy an NFT from every tier. If you buy one from every tier, which is 5 NFTs, you're still gonna have 5 chances of winning. That's it. It does not help your chances of getting in. It doesn't deter your chances of getting in. It's literally the same all the way around. The only difference is the pricing.
well, that's what I meant. You'd still have, if you only bought one nest, and of course with your project, you're I'm sure as a business person, you're hoping that people like what you are selling and are providing, and they buy multiple products. But I'm just saying, so if I only got one NFT in tier one, that's just one chance. But I still, if I bought one from each tier, I'd have 5 chances.
Yes, yeah. The more NFTs you have, the more chances you have. It doesn't matter if you bought 5 from tier 1 or 5 from tier 5. You still have 5 chances.
Okay. Well, I guess the reason I was asking is because when I was reading the white paper, just kind of going through it while we're in here, it looked like it said, five would be released, what, per week for tier one?
Right. So we would give away at tier one after 20% of the nest or the NFTs have sold. We would start giving away 5 nests per week. And then when another 20% sells, we would increase that to give away 10 nests per week. So whether you own 5 in tier one, that would increase your chances of getting one of those 5 nests per week. So, what am I trying to?
Oh, I totally understand. And I may make a killing because Griffin Kingdom project may be the best project out there.
Well, thank you.
I love the enthusiasm. I'm going to go ahead and hire you now.
Spokesperson for Griffin Kingdom.
So I hope Trevor answered that question. I didn't quite still 100% understand. I think Trevor understood a little bit better than I did. But I did want to go back, just take it back to IPA's question, crypto IPA. I didn't, not his question, but my answer to his question. I think I need to clear up a little bit of confusion. I'm trying to think of how to word this exactly. Shoot, now I got a brain fart. No, so he was asking about the tier structure as well. Everyone's been asking about the tier structure. The tier structure. So if we get to, like, let's say we get to tier 2, and like 90% of tier 2 sold, right? So we're like right there on tier 3. It's dead in the water. No one else is buying anything. Well, at that point, we're not going to say, well, tough luck, guys. We're only giving you guys what is in tier 2. We're going to reevaluate. We're going to say, all right, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk. We're going to have a conversation about it. We're going to hash that up when that comes and say, all right, this is at 90%. It's not moving. It's at, anywhere really, 50% and above, and it's not moving. We're going to reevaluate, and we're going to figure out how many NFT or how many nests we can airdrop on a weekly basis if it doesn't go further than that. So we don't want you guys to think that if we get to tier 2 and we're giving away, let's say, 10 nests, and then we get 90% way to tier 3, but it just dies. Market crashes or something crazy happens to where, no one wants to buy NFTs, right? We don't want you guys to think that 90% into tier 2 is just, free money for us, because we don't touch that. There's not a dime of that we touch. It goes straight into PCC's treasury. The wallet address is actually embedded into the code. So, we don't even touch it. It doesn't go to us. If anything, it benefits PCC nest holders. And so I just wanted to clarify that way everyone knew that the point of this isn't for us to get rich, especially because our pay is pretty much a one-time off, and it's not that quite that much anyways. But not to mention, we don't want you guys to think that we're greedy. We're not gonna just withhold you guys the potential of making more, giving away more per week if we're that close. And there's no sense in not doing it, because if there's nothing being sold, then there's no reason why we shouldn't open it up to that percentage. Now, it wouldn't be exactly, let's say if we're doing intervals of 5, it wouldn't go from 10 to 15, but it might go from 10 to 14, for instance, right? Whatever that percentage is, we'd have to equate into it.
That makes sense. And thanks for that clarification. Josh, what do you got?
Okay, so I took notes because every time Kim speaks, I forget everything I was thinking about. I love you, Kim. You're great. Anyway, what are you guys doing as of like marketing? Shit. Was my mic on?
Yeah, your mic.
Yeah, your mic's
Yeah, we
on.
can hear you.
Okay. I looked at the button and it looked like it wasn't on. So are you 3 things I jotted down real quick that I was thinking about. I didn't get through the whole white paper thing yet, but I'm like getting the gist of it pretty much. I am going to join your Discord and keep following you guys and see what you're all about. I'm intrigued. The tier-based floor price and you're getting rewards based on those tiers and what you're holding in those tiers, if I'm understanding correctly. Is there a allotted amount of time you need to hold that NFT in order to gain rewards, or is it a buy and you immediately start getting rewards, or is there like a week wait period? What's the stipulation on that? And I'm sure I'm sorry if you already stipulated that in the white paper. Like I said, I didn't get through it yet. And then the other thing was, is it based on, you need people to flip these kind of to get money flowing through it, correct? And then marketing comes into that. What are the plans for marketing for that to help you get over them humps?
So to answer your first question, can you just rehash? I just had to answer in my head, and then your second question threw me off.
No problem. And I love that you said brain fart earlier, because I say that all the time. The tiered based things. Do you have to hold the NFT for a certain amount of time?
Okay, so no. Once you buy it, you're eligible to start receiving the giveaways immediately. And so the good way that Trevor actually pointed it out was like how the tier structure works. It's like a funnel and then a reverse funnel. If I'm saying that right, Trevor, you feel free to correct me. But actually, I'll let Trevor go ahead and explain that part.
So it operates as a sort of reverse funnel. The more NFTs we sell, the more we're going to give away. Clearly, because that's the more income we're getting in. So we're able to actually, because the nests aren't being created till we airdrop it. So we're able to give more away as we sell more NFTs. So as soon as you buy an NFT, and as soon as tier 1 starts, which is at 20% of the NFTs sold, so that's 2,000 NFTs sold, we'll start giving away 5 nests a week. And then tier 2 will start giving away 10 nests a week, and tier 3 after so 60% sold, 15 nests a week, and it'll continue on there, so forth. Does that answer that first question?
No, I wanted you to explain the how the reverse funnel ideal works. Kind of how your odds of winning are better at the beginning and the end of each tier and so forth, and then the beginning of the tier. So it's like I'm talking about how so we have a specific. I'll go ahead and just go for it. We have a specific of airdrop nests that we're giving away. So let's say we're at tier 1, we're giving away 5 right per week. And then we are at the end of tier 1. So we're at 3,995. Okay, 5 left to go before we get to tier 2. Well, we're still giving away 5, right? So that Friday we're at 3,995. We haven't quite made it to tier 2 yet, so we're still giving away 5. well, now you have that many people involved in the giveaway, which makes it a less chances of winning. But then as moment it hits tier 2, now everyone behind it has a much higher chance as until it gets over 50% of tier 2 sold, which then it does the reverse funnel idea. So it's kind of like it's kind of an interesting thought process, because the moment that we enter a tier, the tier is structured to give away those nests sustainably throughout that entire tier. So if you get in early on that tier for those giveaways, then that allows you to have a better odds of winning a nest, right? So you have 2,001 people in this giveaway now versus 2,500, because it's the same number either way. That's kind of what I was going with the reverse funnel idea. But to answer your second question, can you go ahead and rehash that for me?
Just to, because you need people for this to work, and I've
Right.
noticed that in many discords that it's the amount of community that's involved and it's willing to buy and sell with each other to keep the project going if necessary. What marketing tactics are you doing to promote your discord and get those people in there and flowing?
Right. So one of our contracted agreements with Phoenix Community Capital is that they actually have full marketing control. So they're going to take care of our marketing. We have their entire marketing team that's going to be heads on and taking care of that. As far as the marketing goes, we're going to just do our part. I mean, I'll do my part, and bringing forth ideas and whatnot. But as far as the actual marketing protocol, I don't know if you know Jordan Harry. I know he's the CMO over at Phoenix. Great guy. I'm sure they have a pretty detailed plan. I haven't spoke with them too much about marketing, just because of how everything's kind of structured right now, or in the testing phase right now. Next is the deployment stage, and then I'll be speaking to them about marketing. As far as us needing to sell it to keep it going, that's not quite true. This project could go just as long without any third-party sales. Actually, third-party sales more or less hurts our project until we're sold out. Because third-party sales is essentially, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be marked up prices or not. I'm sure they will if someone's going to sell it. But essentially, third-party sales are going to give the buyer an opportunity to buy it through someone else other than us, right? So it would honestly, third-party sales and all that, people buying and selling, that doesn't affect our NFT whatsoever. I mean, other than the possibility of it hurting it a little bit, just because if they're not buying from us, they're buying from them, so forth. But it's fine. That's not a big deal for us. We don't rely on people selling our NFT or buying our NFT once we get past tier 1, because once you break it down mathematically, it all equals out. And if we don't get past tier 1, like I said earlier, we'll reevaluate and put the nest airdrops where it needs to be weekly to go forth.
And Josh, I was just going to put this out there too. The difference with this one is it's just not a standalone NFT, and they are specifically partnered with Phoenix Fire too.
Yeah, I was picking that up, that they were getting the financing from them, so they got a lot of backing behind them. I was shocked, like you just said, you're not getting any I'll call it royalties from sales of people selling the NFT on whatever marketplace. What?
So royalties. I believe we added a 3% royalties. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that part of the question. I believe we added a 3% royalty from a third party sales. I don't know. Let me double check with Casper. He's the guy who coded all that crap in there. And so if that would go, that 3% would just go straight into the what you call it wallet, the expenses wallet or whatever. We haven't named the wallets yet, but it would essentially go into the expenses wallet, which, like I was saying earlier, I don't want to say too much, but the idea behind the expenses wallet would be to also create further utility.
Yeah, and that makes sense to have some portion of the funds from sales of the NFTs flipping to a communal wallet. I mean, I don't know how you guys are working it with with who's in charge of the funds. I guess Phoenix Finance would be, since they're the main backer of it. I just know other projects are just doing like community wallets or putting a handful of people in charge of it instead of just one guy.
Right. So in our case, same situation. The way that our partnership is structured with PCC is that Eric, Luke, myself, and Trevor will have access to the wallets. And
What do you have, a multi-sig wallet?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
I was just about to say it, and you beat me to it.
All right. So I know we've had Nodes and Trevor here for about an hour. I'm going to give you guys a quick minute if you guys want to request and ask a question, because I don't want to keep them all night, because we did hear that Nodes was kind of busy at the beginning of this also. And then we're still going to continue our regular show after this, talking all things crypto. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask now, because when he leaves, I'm not answering any Griffin Kingdom questions this evening, because your opportunity was here. Going once, going twice.
Well, thank you guys for talking with me and Thymeless and our guests about your project. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And thank you guys for. Wait a minute, here's Shay.
Shay had Shay's requested.
All right, Shay.
I was about to say thank you. I guess no more questions means we explained it really well.
You guys have been phenomenal, though. I will say that. I've asked Nodes a lot of questions at the AMA on Crypto Underground, and then the clarifying questions that I asked for the benefit of our community. And the way you guys just jumped in there, you guys have been really on top of answering those questions, and I super appreciate that, too.
Well, thank you. All right, go ahead, Shay.
I mean, this is an extreme hypothetical because I do not foresee this happening with the node cap approaching so quickly. But let's say everything slows down in the fire sector and nodes are being produced less quickly, and at the same time y'all are able to launch, and you start selling your nodes before that cap, or sorry, your NFTs before that cap. But then there's like a stagnant period. Is the price set, or would it fluctuate? Because right now, like as of like a couple minutes ago, I think it was at $95 and some change. Would your price of those higher tiers drop a little bit to mirror, or no, absolutely not? Like that's set in stone. That's what y'all need for your model to work.
Yeah, everything we have is set in stone. With so as far as I know, unless Phoenix Capital changes anything, everything we have is set in stone. So the prices for the NFT and the amount of NFTs we are receiving.
Okay, I appreciate that. Real quick follow up, is just based on that answer, is everything set in stone, or could Phoenix change some stuff? For mirroring on
that's
y'all's end.
Yeah, that's a great question. Phoenix Community Capital. This is a Phoenix Community Capital managed and mostly owned project, and so I mean they own over 60% of our project. So it is mostly owned by PCC. So it really just determines on what they decide to do. But I tell you that just because I don't want you to come back later and be like, hey, you said nothing was going to change. I'm going to say no. It depends on Phoenix because I don't want to tell you guys something that's not true. I'm a very big person about being transparent. I'm very big about telling the information that needs to be told, and people that want to know it. Because I mean, it's a valid question. It is a very valid question. Why would anything change? But as far as I know, it would be extremely hard for them to change anything, just because of the fact that it's all smart contracted. So we'd have to launch a second version just to. Sorry, I got a message from Deeks. So just so that we can. Just to do that. So I really don't. I'm 99.9% sure that there's nothing's going to change. What we have is what is set in stone. The only thing I could possibly foresee is if there's a drastic change, which caused like the prices of the Nest and the price of AVAX or something or another that fluctuated so heavily that the 1300 Nest weren't feasible. But other than that, I still believe 100% that they have no intentions whatsoever on changing anything. So I think if that answers your question, I really hope so, because I really can't say too much more just because of the fact that I don't know what Eric and Luke have in the future for this project, because they really could, they could say, hey, we might need to up AVAX price by half an AVAX to make this sustainable. And I don't want to say that would never happen, because then if it's only half an AVAX, that's like $32 right now. It would be more beneficial for the community to do so, and if it was more sustainable to do so. So I don't want to say no, nothing could ever change, but I am very confident that Eric and Luke have always been, what they've said what they said, and that's what it is. And so I'm very confident that that's related into our project as well.
No, I appreciate it, bro. You definitely answered. And like I said, it was a huge what if, like, let's go down the damn TikTok wormhole and see how long we can spend. But I appreciate it. It was just when you mentioned that word change, it's like, oh shoot, let's just ask. But I appreciate your the transparency for sure, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. But and I try to be as transparent as possible. I'll continuously say this over and over again. Is I believe, and as Thymeless said earlier, is I'm an investor first. I've been a heavily investor in crypto for, Jesus Christ, what, 7 years or so, maybe even more. I've been a heavily investor in crypto, into stocks. I've been invested into, all kinds of just different things. That has been great and that has failed miserably. And that's one of the things I wanted to make sure, no matter what, even if this project just happens to fail, I want to make sure I have the transparency, and I want to make sure I bring you guys that information so that it's not a surprise to anybody. If something succeeds or fails, it's not a surprise. You guys knew this was coming because I was 100% transparent to you guys.
Okay. Let's see. Shay, did he answer your question? Are you good?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Oculus.
No problem. All right, we're gonna go to Kim.
So here's another one of my stupid questions. What do you do with the NFTs? Is that something that you're going to play games with? Are you just going to sit and hold it, or if the NFT is a turkey, then are you doing what I be hearing? Then you're dropping eggs, hens, or whatever. What is what is it that we do with this?
So, yeah, no question's a stupid question by any means. I know you said that you're new to this space, so I completely want to answer everything you have, no matter how dumb it may sound. So don't be afraid. Lay them on me. Also, I do want to say, and I don't want to plug or anything, but there's a lot of really good Discord groups. Thymeless and Oculus are both core members of the CU Underground. They have a great, very, very informative Discord that might be able to help answer a lot of questions, especially if you're new into crypto, DeFi, or even NFTs. But just to answer your question, we do have a lot of plans. We have, right now we're working on the storyline because we want to bring something to, to kind of give entertainment as well. We want to give an entertainment feel behind our project, not just to sit on it and wait until you win or don't. So the idea behind it right now, we're working on a storyline that we're planning on releasing the first phase of it before our launch, which probably actually here in the next week. We'll be releasing the storyline along with all the castles and factions involved, kind of give all the information laid out there. But to answer your question about the game, that was 110% our entire entire idea was to build a game off of Griffin NFTs. We believe that Griffin NFTs are such an awesome project, such an awesome artwork that we have to create a game. I mean, we just have to because they're so cool. I mean, they look freaking awesome. I love it. So yes, we do plan on launching a game in the future. I believe we put that somewhere in the roadmap. I want to say, Trevor. But if not, then here you've heard it first. The idea is to create a game. If it's nothing else, it's something to pass the time. But I'll leave the rest to your imagination.
It wasn't in the roadmap. It's in our private roadmap, but
Hey, whoops.
that's fine.
Well, now you heard it here first, people.
All right. Josh, what do you have?
I just want to kind of answer Kim's question a little bit more. So NFTs are insanely complicated sometimes, and they're insanely simple sometimes. There is a big push to get real art. I'm sorry, I got this weird hair on my sleeve. Real art into NFTs. It's already in NFTs. So if you want to buy a piece of art, you can buy a piece of art and claim it as a piece of art that you hold. Just like you buy a famous painting. It all depends on what your taste is. There's also NFTs that strive to be in the gaming world. There are a lot of projects out there with a lot of demos, and there are actually games out there that use NFTs in their game that are functioning right now today.
Hey, Josh,
there are-
not to interrupt you. Are you going to be sticking around to after this? Because I just don't want to take up all the nodes and Trevor's time. And there's a
Oh
couple
no,
more
I'm sorry.
questions, and then we could. No, that's fine. I want somebody to explain the NFT thing towards Kim and stuff, but we can finish that conversation. I just
Okay.
want the people that want to ask these questions before nodes and Trevor has to run out on us.
Oh no, let him finish. I know it's getting late.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, good to see you guys. Thanks for having me. All right, so I haven't really gotten into NFTs, so I will talk about like all that stuff, with another time. But just from a investor standpoint, can you name me three things that would be positive about investing into your NFT versus going elsewhere? Because I own none, and I've heard nothing but great things. And I'm unfortunately always in the middle of these meetings when you're up talking, so I never really got to fully absorb. And maybe one reason, to look a different direction. But three positive things, if you wouldn't mind, that whether they're features or things that could benefit me and my pals here and my peers, and maybe something that's that maybe needs work on or something that you think could be better.
Yeah, for sure. So what's up, Chris? By the way, I know we've talked quite a bit, just
Yeah.
outside of, and just crypto underground spaces and whatnot. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
I wanted they're one of the biggest things, one of the biggest incentives of having a Griffin Kingdom NFT is the ability to still obtain a fire nest even when no one else can. That is our biggest selling point right there. No one knows what the price of fire is going to do. I mean, they're a venture capitalist company, and their price, it might be $97, $8 right now or whatever. But in a month, a couple weeks from now, it could be astronomical again. I mean, we've seen this switch flip back and forth with fire. It's very, very possible for this to go to some new heights, right? I mean, I know a lot of people in this room are hoping for it, but in a realistic term, I believe they have the potential to do it. But that's the number one right there is the ability to obtain a fire nest when no one else can. No one. I mean, no one else can get a OG fire nest. It doesn't matter if you're in Firebirds or whatnot. we're going to be the only project that allows to input a into your wallet after the drop, after the cap. The second really good incentive would be probably the odds, and I say that lightly just because the odds are changing. Like I said earlier, with the reverse funnel, the odds are changing depending on what placement of sales we're in, what tier we're in, and how the tier. How soon into the tier of the giveaways and so forth, right? So the odds are actually really good for what they are. There's a lot of projects out there that I've been looking into since creating this project, just to kind of get an idea of how this project should be ran and how it should be as fair as possible. And the way that our project is designed is to give the best odds possible. The odds aren't the greatest. Again, I want to say that I know the odds are not the greatest, but they're significantly better than a lot of really popular projects out there if you go down and break down the math. As for the third thing, I guess the third incentive of buying an NFT from Griffin Kingdom would be our transparency. We're not going to lie to you. We're going to tell you the truth, even if it hurts us. That's just how we are. I mean, we don't want to tell lies. We don't want to spread false information. We want to educate people. Again, I'm in the crypto underground. The whole idea of crypto underground is to educate people, and that is to help people learn, like Mrs. Kim over here, to learn about the projects, to retain information, to get the resources they have from a lot of smart people, and take those resources and do what they want with them, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with this project, is that our idea is not only to give people the ability to, but to also educate them on what they could be also doing in their life besides our project. Like, hey, okay, that's great. You didn't get in for our project. That's awesome. And it sucks, but it's awesome. Like, I'm glad you're doing with your money what you're doing with it. But let us educate you on how you can create passive income to be a fulfilling lifestyle for the rest of your life. And let's show you the way that you can actually revolutionize your life, to change your entire lifestyle just by passive income. I mean, and I say that a lot, but look down in this room, and I think you're one of them, Chris. But look down in this room and see how many people passive income's lives have changed in this room. I know I'm one of them. I know there's a lot of people in this room that have had vacations, that have had just weddings or buying houses or whatever off of their passive income, which would have been almost impossible for some people to do otherwise. And that's the goal. That is ultimately the goal, is that we want to make sure that we're giving you the right information no matter what it is. And obviously, this is crypto. No information is always the right information, but we sure as hell could try.
I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much. The transparency thing means a lot to me. I think that's very important, and we all understand that regardless, we're getting into a risk anyway. That's with any project, but you definitely sound very confident in it, and looking forward to being a future investor in it. When does it launch?
So the PCC roadmap has us launching at first week of April. I'm sorry, May. I was gonna say we're a little bit behind, aren't we? So the first week of May is the projected launch. We fully believe that we will be launched, or if not launched, by the end of May, or end of first week of May. Jesus Christ, this is the second time I've said that. I hope it's not true. No, but end of the first week of May. That's the official idea behind it. We'll release the actual dates when times when it's getting closer. But as far as the actual times, PCC roadmaps gives a very good estimate. First week of May.
Awesome, I appreciate that. And then, was there anything about the project that you felt that needed improvement or that you disliked about it, being that it was someone that's been in crypto for 7 years?
So I've asked myself that question more than I can count. I'm constantly asking myself that question. What can we do to improve? What can we do to make better? And honestly, it would be ignorant for me to say nothing, just because it doesn't matter what project you're in, it doesn't matter how great the project is, there's always room for improvement. But and I agree that it's a stellar project, and I see it out of my heart because a lot of these guys.
Oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Nodes. Yeah, you're breaking up.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, it's
Yes.
just breaking up. Yeah.
All right, my bad. I had to drive somewhere real quick. I gotta go pick up a PlayStation from this guy. He's giving me a PlayStation for a camera. So, anyways, yeah, I don't even play PlayStation. I don't know why I'm getting it. Anywho,
PS4 or 5?
it's a 5.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I got a 4K Zenmos X5 camera, and it's a 4K drone camera, and so yeah, he wanted to trade it for it. I said, all right, whatever. Anywho, I'm not sure where you guys lost me at, but if you guys want to go ahead and
No, you pretty much had it. You had pretty much answered it, I think. Did he answer your question, though, is the question.
It blurred out. I mean, honestly, about the last thing I heard you say is every project has room for improvement, and then from that point, I lost you there. If there was anything that you felt.
You're right. So I think I think the biggest thing for improvement for Griffin Kingdom would probably be the not the communication from our side, but kind of the communication from maybe our discords. I mean, our discords are not the most active right now, which is kind of a bummer because we put a lot of work into getting the word out there for the Discord. But we understand it's still an early project. But I mean, it's not too early, but it's an early project. People are not buying these NFTs right now, so there's not really much to talk about. But I guess our improvement would probably be, and this question was brought up earlier, was probably the marketing aspect of it. We definitely could sit down and get some pen and paper, write down a bunch of marketing strategies, and actually execute them so that we can hopefully bring a very, very strong community to the Discord and to our Twitter, so that there's never a dull moment. That's kind of our biggest thing right now, is that we kind of have a couple dead rooms in our Discord, which definitely sucks because we're very excited about this project. We're really ready to talk to and answer anyone's question that has questions, and it does hurt a little bit to see it's not as active as we want it to be, but that's fine. Again, I mean, we fully expected for that to be the case until the actual product was announced and launched, and so that would probably be our one of the things that we should definitely improve on especially in the next week prior to launch. But I mean, other than that, I mean, we've really got down, and we worked really hard with Luke and Eric to refine this project so that there are very minimum kind of things that need to be worked on with this project. We wanted to make sure we covered all of those before we even said anything about Griffin Kingdom. And that's why when we wrote our white papers, that we were very, very, very detailed, because we wanted to make sure that everyone knew what they're getting. Everyone knew, what the project is about. Everyone knows, every little detail and aspect about our project without question. And so, I again, like I said earlier, every project. I don't care who you are. I don't care what company, S&P 500 company you have. Every project, every business could have room for improvement. And I am always open to hearing if anyone. I don't care who it is, and honestly, I don't care how it comes at me. It can be rude or it can be nice. If you have a suggestion, if we're not doing something right, I expect the community to hold us accountable. Hit us with it. Hit us as hard as you can with that, because we want to know. And I think
Hey, I'm
Trevor.
sorry to interrupt real quick. I've got to go. I've got a friend who's in trouble and they need help. So sorry to drop so suddenly. Thank you guys for your questions.
Thank
Have a good
you
night.
for stopping by, Trevor. I hope everything is okay.
I think he cut out. He might prematurely drop down there.
It happens, especially when there's an emergency. So, um, did that answer your question, Chris? And because I do know that Notes is kind of busy, and we could wrap this up, and then we
No,
could
no,
get in.
it's completely fine. I appreciate that. Absolutely, 100%. I'm just driving right now, so I still have, it looks like 12 minutes. So yeah, by all means.
I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the time, Thymeless and Oculus, and thanks for answering my questions. I really appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely, brother.
No problem. Thank you for coming up, Chris.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? Going once.
I think
Going twice.
Fire Gord said he wanted to ask a question. Fire Gord, is that right?
Gord, you gonna come up here and ask some questions?
I'm just giving him a hard time.
I know. Well, I did want to thank you personally, and as our team right here of me and Oculus, I wanted to thank you for taking the time out tonight. I know you're busy with meetings and building and getting your project's name out there. It means a lot that you were able to take the time to come in and answer these questions and talk to us all the way you were able to, and being as transparent and as real as most projects should be. So it's a breath of fresh air to hear true transparency. And we do understand that there are things that you can't talk about contractually, and the project hasn't even fully launched yet. So I appreciate you so much. What do you have, Oculus?
No, I was just gonna say, thank you very much for coming and speaking with us. Because you actually wrote such a well prepared whitelist, it answered all my questions, so that's why I was so quiet. So kudos to you guys for actually writing a decent white paper where I'm not left with a question mark on my face, because as I said, you said it all. Everything I had a question about, it was in the white paper. That's why I implore everybody here, if you have any questions, to read the white paper. It's very, very easy to understand. Thank you, Griffin Kingdom, for coming.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate you guys having me. And I was invited up to come up here to answer some questions. I'm always willing, and I'm very, very, very willing. No matter what stage of this project I'm in, it could be fully sold out. I'm willing to hop up here and come answer questions and talk to you guys. And it's fun. I actually enjoy it. I mean, you guys can catch me every Friday night just about over at Crypto Underground and pick my brain. And now that I know that every Wednesday at 9, that we're at 9 Eastern, that we're having this crypto space, I'm going to be here too. So, I mean, you guys are kind of stuck with me. But I definitely appreciate you guys asking all the questions. I appreciate you guys bringing me up and putting me here. I do want to say, I do appreciate you guys knowing that I can't talk about everything. But luckily, no one's asked any questions I can't talk about. Minus maybe one about a game. But we're not going to talk about that, are we?
We're not going to talk about it yet. So when all
You're
these
not
new
allowed.
developments come, I'm going to harass you again about coming to talk to us.
You're dang right. So absolutely, I really do appreciate you guys. It's been great. I do apologize for being a little bit scattered brain. It's been nonstop over here. I mean, between meetings, I also own 3 companies, and so it's just between meetings and doing my companies. Taking care of everything with that. It's been fun. I can tell you, there's a couple guys that I've been talking to that's also doing projects, and they could tell you the same thing. It's running a project is a full-time job within itself. It's been one thing after the next. I stay very busy now. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the community for coming in, joining, asking questions. I appreciate Oculus and Thymeless for having me up here and bringing me up and introducing the community to my project. I really do appreciate that, guys. It really does mean a lot to me. And that's the thing. This project is a community project. That's what it was designed for. That's what it's going to be, no matter what. And I love getting out there. I love talking to the community. So again, if you're listening to this a few hours later, a couple days later, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, come ask me questions if you have questions. If something doesn't sit right with you, come pick my brain. I'll jump on a Discord call with you one-on-one and talk to you. I'll jump in an AMA with you with 510,000 people. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I will answer your questions. I this wasn't scripted. None of this was scripted. I didn't talk to Thymeless or Oculus before this and say, hey, this is what questions I need to be asked, because I don't believe in being a scripted AMA. I believe in come up, ask your dang question. I'm going to give you my dang answer, and that's that. But I do really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I hope you guys stay blessed tonight. I hope you guys enjoy your guys' all things crypto chat tonight, and I do appreciate you guys allocating an hour and a half to my project. Thank you guys.
No problem.
No
Anytime.
problem.
We really enjoy you also. So drive safely, get that PlayStation, even though it should be an Xbox, but
Hey,
You're
hey,
right.
hey, hey, hey,
No, no, no,
hey,
no
no,
Xboxes.
no,
No
no, no,
Xboxes.
no.
PlayStation all the way.
But yes, I appreciate it. And we would like to definitely set up a time after you've launched, the dust is settled and stuff like that, because I think it's fun for people to talk to the creators of projects also.
Whoops, I didn't mean to put that laughing face there. Yes, absolutely, and I'm all for it. And as far as PlayStation versus Xbox, Oculus, I love you to death, but Xbox takes the win. I'll let you know that.
Thank you, Notes.
No,
Hey,
the controllers are
Nah,
stupid.
nah. You guys still don't have the exclusives we have, but that's another fight.
Hey, it goes
So,
it goes both ways. It goes both ways, sweetheart.
it does go both ways.
but you know what? I've
Oculus
never.
got my back.
But to
Yeah,
be
man.
honest, to be completely honest with you, I don't play games. I watch Netflix. I'm getting this PlayStation 5 to watch Netflix. I feel like this is a horrible idea.
That's
But
an
if
expensive Fire Stick. You can do that with a Fire Stick, but hey.
Yo,
what
I do the same thing. I only watch TV on there. I play one game. It's Warzone. That's it.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. Like, I do not play games at all. I play Apex Legends. I'm sorry, I'll take that back. I play Apex Legends with Jordan. That's it. That's it. I mean, I don't. I play with him maybe like once or twice a week. Jordan Harry. He plays Apex, so go harass him if you guys play Apex.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
have Apex. I haven't played in a long time, but maybe.
yeah, it's just it's the craziest purchase I'm making for what it is. I don't ever buy any not purchase but trade any new systems. It's not really my thing, but we'll see how it goes. You guys have a great night. I'm actually about to pull into my exit right now. I do appreciate everybody, and I hope you guys all have a great night.
All right, have
You
a good
too.
night.
Have a good night,
Have a good
Notes.
night, man.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All right, so we still have our actual show that we do every Wednesday for anybody who, if this is your first time here, Oculus and I have a show every Wednesday night, all things crypto, and we talk literally all things crypto. And if you have anything you want to discuss, a project, a question, anything, we always ask for your guys' participation. Request the mic, and we can have at it.
Who bought the gala dip?
You.
I did this time. I've been in my DAG bag, and I know OV wants to talk about Quant Stamp, and I'm actually shaking up my portfolio right now. I'm getting rid of things that I thought I was going to hold forever, and I'm researching like I'm brand new to crypto again.
Can I ask you one quick question, Timeless? You're getting rid of things that you should have. What you just said. Are you taking losses?
I absolutely am taking no losses. Most of the things I am getting rid of have been house money 3 times over, and I've taken profits off of them 3 times over.
Okay.
I discuss with Oculus, and there's a few gentlemen in Crypto Underground that we have conversations back and forth. And some people, when I was asking questions and we were just discussing portfolios, made some valid points that made me sit back and say, you know what? It's time to relook at this whole portfolio.
Yeah, someone in particular made me buy some things that I FOMO'd into that are still not in the plus, so I kind of can't sell them. So I'm waiting for that Telcoin. I'm sorry.
You're not the only one. There's plenty of people out there heard about it. I seen it going down. And one thing I will say is Oculus and I had talked about it. Oculus had gotten into Telcoin really early in her crypto journey. And when she was telling me the reason why she got into it and the promises that that team had made, and seeing that,
2018,
right,
2018.
and seeing that some of that team, the team has not fulfilled a lot of those since 2018, I was like, oh, hell no, this shit got to go. So that shit went, and I'm not looking back.
I mean, it's new to you if you haven't heard about it, and it's new to you if you're not aware of the things. I mean, they've done some things, but I'm telling you, I've held it for a long time. And like I always say, I don't think it's a bad project. I'm not going to say it's a terrible project, but I think that when you listen to somebody and buy something, you kind of, get upset when it's not doing what you feel like it should. I got in Telecoin when nobody was telling me about it myself, and I sold it because, 3 years later, I was like, come on, this shit is still like just under a fucking penny. Like, what the hell is going on with it? So I got rid of it because you know what? I sold it for another coin, and I didn't take a loss, but I just got rid of it, because I said I have time to get back into it. So I don't necessarily marry things in crypto because the space is ever evolving, and a lot of these projects you do have time to get back in. So I've learned not to marry and hold till the death. Not for every coin. Some coins I sell. I've had VeChain since 2018. I had it when it was VET. I've had a lot of these projects that people are talking about now a long time ago, and I'm like, damn, they're still like hovering over the price that they were. I mean, they shot up a little bit when they first hit the market, but they've been down for a couple of years. So, like I said, you have time.
Yeah, and I was uncomfortable when we had people showing us screenshots of the wallet. Like the wallet didn't seem very, the wallet wasn't what it was supposed to be. And the fact that it didn't look like that you even had your own custody of it was a problem to me. And I'm wondering, do people keep requesting to come up and before I can accept it, they drop down? Are you guys just dropping down because you didn't mean to hit that, or are we having some kind of issue with Twitter?
I think sometimes people don't look and it says request as a speaker and they just actually pop in the room and request as a speaker when they didn't mean to do that. Because I've done that in a few spaces. If you're not looking, you can just actually request to be a speaker when you just want to be a listener. I think it's just sleight of the hand. Actually, that's what I
Okay,
think
I
it
just
is.
wanted to
Yeah.
make sure because it's happened a couple times. I'm like, I'm hoping that it doesn't seem like we're ignoring somebody that was trying to talk.
But yeah, as far as those projects, I mean, it also too is all about how long are you willing to hold something, you know? That's really what it's all about. Some people don't mind holding something for 5 or 6 or 7 years, but humans are inherently impatient and they want results quickly. So if a lot of these coins that you're buying, they're not going to do anything in a year. They're not going to do anything in 2 years. They're working, especially if their mainnet hasn't dropped and they're still working on that. You have to always keep that in mind. If they're talking about a mainnet and it's like, I've heard people complain about, oh, they've been talking about a mainnet for a year. After doing research on what entails and what goes into a mainnet and how to drop it, it takes a lot of work. So if you're not willing to be patient, then sell it. You may sell it at a loss, but hey, that's something that you have to decide for yourself.
Right. And that's a huge thing also. And I want everybody, even if you're new in the space, to understand what a project moving and going to a mainnet really means. Not just buzzwords, not just, oh, just throw it out there and not truly understanding it. I implore you all to go, if you don't fully understand the simple terms that are used consistently over the whole crypto space, go and look up those definitions. Google is your friend. I do believe that even Crypto Underground has like a whole section of terms in crypto. So that's going to be something that you're truly going to want to know while you're moving through the space, because if you don't know these keywords and what these certain protocols are doing, you're doing yourself a disservice. And going along with what Oculus was just saying, when you are investing in your 401k, you know you're going to sit on this for a while, and you're not hawking it. You're not looking at it. You either picked your own funds that you're allocating to certain like stocks or funds, and you're not looking at it. You're going to see your printout every quarter and you're fine with it. I know we're very hands-on in crypto, but there are going to be certain things that you want to hold in your bag for long term, and that is your long-term holds. And definitely implore you not to be just hawking on it, watching it go up and down, because you wouldn't do that with your 401k.
No, I mean, I check it quarterly. I mean, I make sure whatever I'm invested in my 401k is doing okay. And sometimes I make changes, but I'm not obsessive with it because it's for the long term. It's for when I retire. I'm nowhere near retirement. So, you know, I'm not looking at it that closely. I'm looking at it closely, but I'm not obsessing over it because I'm content with what I invested in my 401k. And that's the big word. Are you content in your investment? If you're not in crypto, you can always sell it. But that's up to you, as I always say.
Yeah, and being content is truly knowing that project, staying up to date on their updates. Oh, they haven't had many, so you kind of stop looking. Go and make sure you're following their Twitter. Twitter and Discord are going to be your two tools that you're truly going to want to use in crypto. You don't want to just put it on the backs of influencers. You don't want to be sitting around saying that you want to be spoon fed. You truly want to know these things. You want to know what these things are doing. I have things that are still in my portfolio that only recently I finally am talking to people that even know what that is, because a lot of people have never heard of certain things like Civic. I get so much shit about Civic. What the hell is Civic? It's car, it's this, like
It's a car.
and I'm like, okay, well, that's one of my long-term holds. That's one of the first things I bought when I got into crypto. So it's just being confident. And I'm huge on telling people, while investing in certain things because it makes sense and you see the potential of the growth, I always tell people, invest in your interests too. Look at projects that are solid, that speak to you personally.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why I get into certain projects. I mean, I like a lot of e-commerce projects. Some people are not big on those, but I like to shop, and I feel that people will be actually using crypto to buy products. They're doing it now. So that's one of my things. But everybody's not big on coins like, what is it, shopping.io, um, curate. That's another one I'm kind of interested in. But like I said, it's all about why the project speaks to you, and that's why those two speak to me. So it's really all about the investor. That's why it's always good not to just jump on a project because somebody told you it's good and it's going to 10x in a year or two or whatever. You got to actually decide, does this project speak to you, and not because somebody told you to buy it.
Right. And another thing, there's a lot of questions about these strong updates and entangled nodes. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse in here because there's still a lot of updates coming in. But if really there's no need for some of the smaller investors with smaller nodes to really worried about entangled nodes right now. That's mostly for people like whales, essentially, to group all of these together to lower their gas fees. And we're seeing a lot of different things. Like we've been talking about the Polygon nodes. And while the chart that we had, what even last week was right, that changed today. Now it's the decay of, I think it will decay and only give you 32 coins over the matter of 40 months. That's still a long time. So I'm still going to do one more Polygon node personally, but I wanted to bring that up for everybody too. And really to understand it, because it's still very vague, turn off all the noise, just sit down and don't try to interpret what you're reading while you're reading it. Read it for what it is. Don't try to make it something that it's not and making it more difficult for yourself. Just read it and read the words that are right there and what it means, not trying to add to it.
Right. And I think that people are missing the point of what the entangled nodes are. It's all about keeping the project stable and longevity. You know, some people are on Twitter and they're like, damn, so after a while, my node is not worth nothing. I have to get a new one. Well, yeah, don't you want this shit to be around for 5 years? What do you think? You get one node and you continue to make money off of it forever? That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable at all. So I think it was, 32 nodes over 40 months? 40 months, what's that, like almost 3 years? That's a long time to actually make some passive income. And you know, to me, that the steps that they're making, they've realized that they have to make changes in order to keep the project going. Like, do you want it to fizzle out or do you want it to stay around? So it's kind of up to you. For me, I want it to stay around because, like I said, there's no better money like extra money, you know? So for me, I'm not upset about it at all because you always still have the choice, especially if you don't have a lot of nodes. You can continue to make the original ETH nodes. Nobody's forcing you to do the entangled node. So I don't understand what all the beef is about, honestly.
Right, and that's the huge thing right now. You have options. Everybody's been crying that they want updates. Now you're getting updates, and now we're crying about the updates. They said that there's a lot coming out this quarter, and just like they gave the update on the Polygon today. So it's just another option. And you still, while it's not capped, you can still get the OG ETH node. And I think while we're getting some of these entangled nodes and all these updates, and while you're getting everything right now for you, it gives you a chance to sit back and kind of start looking ahead strategically, because we do know Strong is going to Strong Chain. We do know things are going to change. As of right now, we can grandfather in the original ETH nodes. They say that they're going to make it, what is the exact word that they use? I'm trying to remember. They're going to incentivize original ETH node holders to move over into the migration. But as of right now, they're not saying that you're going to have to. So there's more options. We're seeing a chain being built, and this is what happens. We're getting privy to seeing it being built in front of us.
Right, and I think a lot of it is I think that it seems like they're moving quite currently along with their roadmap for the year. So seems like they're actually on time to me. Some people they post a roadmap and don't actually follow it. You know, they're late with announcements. So, you know, I think we all just have to wait and see. And for those who aren't, like I said, a fan of Polygon or the entangled nodes, don't make them. That's all. Just continue to make your ETH nodes. That's what a lot of people are going to do anyway.
Right. And I think just be happy with it. What do you got, Chris?
I was gonna say I saw something the other day. I wanted to ask you guys your opinion on, and I don't really. I'm pretty sleep deprived because I've been working a lot, so I don't remember. It's on YouTube though, but it was talking about how we're in a node bubble. You know, like I just want to see what you guys thought. You guys know a lot more of the intricate details of like the projects and stuff, to see where if that would make sense or not. But the idea of it is that, you know, blue chip coins, you know, were very popular and still are. They're down. Nodes came around. They become popular. NFTs around, then metaverse, and it goes through cycles and loops around into, you know, into different trends per se. Do you think that any of that holds any grounds whatsoever, or you know, I mean, I know that, you know, on my research end that, you know, Stronger and Fire and, you know, and Polar and whatnot, they have utility to them, which if you have utility, then you're going to be around. But I don't remember all the details on the YouTube video, but it just mentioned how we're just like in this big bubble where a lot of people are obsessing over the idea over passive income, which is not necessarily a bad thing because people are spending money on it, which is good, and I enjoy them. But sometimes in the back of my mind, I always tell myself, man, like one day, is it really possible for me to be able to live off of this without working forever? I'd love to think so, and I think it's definitely possible. It's hard to predict if that can happen or not, but just wanted to see what you guys thought.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first, Oculus?
You go ahead, sis. I'm listening to you.
Okay. So, for a node bubble, I will say this. There is a part of that that I do feel is right, and that's only because you have all of these money grab, quote unquote, node projects that come out, get some hype, they rug, they get an exploit, they get people go to sleep. So I think there's a dilution within the different projects. But I do think, for me, strong might be going down. But a conversation that Oculus and I had a long time ago made me analyze strong, when it was strong, as a $50 strong. If it went down to $50, what would I need to make this what I wanted? So I base everything in strong off $50. I am strategically looking at fire because I let fire pass me by because fire came out around the ring time. So it had me very uneasy in the beginning. I've actually seen it grow. I'm a lot more confident with it. I plan on doing what I do to get in there. And of course, I'm in polar nodes. I think, though, to be strategic within nodes is very important. But I also think knowing how to take your profits and swinging those into blue chips and stables and doing it in a way that has a system to it, because that is when you find security. I don't think you're going to keep security within just one space. I'm big on diversification. I'm big on understanding what each individual person wants. And I say it almost every week. You can sit me right next to somebody who makes identical money to me. We have some of the same dreams and everything. But guess what? We don't have the same mortgage. We don't have the same water bill. We don't have the same electricity bill. Nothing will be exactly identical. So you have to look at it individually. So yes, I do think that there is some play in the nodes place. And I do think that there's going to be more. And I think it's going to be based on your research. I think it's going to be based on what you're looking for and being diversified personally.
Yeah, I mean, like you said with that, you kind of nailed it on that, because I forgot to mention that that's something I have been doing is, so I'm used to just kind of like, cashing out the money and just, using it. But I told myself I need to, and I was doing that at first to kind of get my return on investment. So, naturally that's what everyone wants. And then some of these projects are still going, like Polar and whatnot. But I realized that I think, like what you said, is the strategy is, I think, what everyone, I guess, needs to know if they don't know already, which I didn't know. That's why I'm saying that. And I'm not saying just because I don't know that everyone else is clueless, because most people in this space know a lot more than me and have more experience. But I think you're right. Like what you said, if you move them to blue chips or take the rewards and use them to go on to the next big thing, then you can literally just keep moving and sustain off that.
Yeah, and when it comes to these node plays and these passive income plays, you have to always keep in mind the price is not going to stay the same. It's not going to stay the same. If it hit $900, it's not going to freaking stay $900 for 4 months. It's not going to stay $700 for 2 months. This is crypto. It's going to go down. So I think when anybody's getting into these node projects and there's a huge pump like Strong had, or even Phoenix, because one time fire was real high, and I was like, what the hell's going on over there? That shit really is on fire. But I mean, now you look at where it is. So you have to make sure that you're going to be okay, especially if you are living off of these or using these for things like, getting a car or doing this or that. Are you able to sustain the lifestyle that you've created off of these nodes when they were really, really high? And I think that's why there's a lot of gripes too, because a lot of people were riding high when Strong was, what was it? What did it hit, like 1,000 or 1,100? Or people were riding high when it was 500. So now it's down to $50 and people act like they're dying, So that's why you have to have a strategy. And I always think of the worst case scenario, even for some of my favorite projects. And I like Strong, but like I said, when I talked to Thomas about getting into it, I was like, hell, I already said, if it goes down to 50 or $40, how many nodes do I need to be okay and happy. And I think people don't do that. They kind of just get stuck on it being high and don't realize that it can go down.
Yeah, when people would hear that conversation between us, and I was like, oh, okay, and I would do my math, they're like, yo, that is crazy as shit. Strong is never going to go under 250 again. So I don't know why you're doing that. And I was like, well, this is crypto and nothing is ever promised. So if I go and bat at the lowest, if it does stay above 250, then I am golden. So I think it's worst case scenario looking at certain things, especially with passive income plays. I think it's important for each individual how they're going to get their ROI or how they're going to compound. But like I said, it's going to be in each individual person type of thing, and that is going to be something you're going to have to look in yourself in the mirror, and are you comfortable with doing this, that, or whatever, because we can all come together and openly discuss this as a group. Each one of us could tell our strategy or say, hey, I don't fuck with nodes at all. But at the end of the day, each individual person is going to have to make that choice and see what they're comfortable with, because even all of our risk factors are going to be completely different also.
Right, because right, you're right. Because what's good for you is not good for me, even though we talk every day. How you cash out and what you need for to be satisfied with a project is different. Even if we invested the same time, same amount, and everything, we're different people. So that's why you can't really follow what somebody else's portfolio does. You got to figure that out for yourself. Chris, you're going to say something else. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just replying to that. So the thing for me is that I watched, all these tokens go from ridiculous amounts, because like when I got in, I started getting in with Polar, because honestly, it was the only thing I said to myself. I didn't want to. I just got into it because it was something I can afford. And I didn't care if I lost, because I was just putting it in little by little. And then I kept seeing everything about Strong, and people like, yeah, buy into this. Like, it's going to be awesome, man. We're making money. It's 500 per token. It costs you 5,000 to get in. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, okay, well, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'd rather take $5,000 and put it on a blue chip token, moving around or do whatever, instead of just dump that in and whatnot. So I guess what I'm saying is right now, everything to me is at a comfortable price. But one thing I've yet to really see is, and I keep asking people about it, is if it will ever reach those levels again anyway. And most people that I've talked to mathematically, have said, not really. And I hope they do. I mean, for your guys' sake, because you have probably a lot more invested in the OG stuff than I do. But I mean, it's just, I guess I haven't seen a pump, and it doesn't follow all season apparently, or Bitcoin. It's its own entity, so it can have the ability to pump whenever it wants to. But I mean, were those prices like manipulated? Because I mean, I only heard of them. I didn't dig in and research at the time. I saw like ads and stuff that would pop up on my Twitter feed, but like, I mean, I find it pretty crazy that like even just Fire, for instance, great team, great everything. I remember they were $600 a token, 6,000 per node. And I
Right,
got
but
into one.
one thing you have to take into account, not, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you like that,
No, go
but
ahead.
one thing you have to take into account when all those things were going up like that, okay, we were in COVID season, and people that never thought that they would have an opportunity to get in some of these nodes were getting stimulus checks. Then they put that immediately into the crypto market. So why I don't feel like it was fully intentionally manipulated, it got manipulated a little bit because people that didn't have some of this money were now getting unemployment and stimulus checks, and that was rolling right into crypto. And if you go and look at historical data, you can see it rolling into crypto. But then what started happening is that money supply started drying up. And so what did those people do that never had that kind of money before? They started pulling it out, little by little, pulling it out. Oh shit, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, pulling it out. So now it's settling. And now you also have to look at what's going on in the world. People are scared again, but there's not stimuluses and there's not unemployment coming out. So while I do believe that Strong and Fire could see some trends up again, the reality is even if it does, they'll probably retrace again. And the biggest thing that we want as node holders and passive income in a general sense, while it's great to get a lot of money all at once and you're riding the high and everything's great, the way to make it work the best is having it more stable at a lower amount where you can strategize off that a little bit more. It adds more sustainability and it allows you to understand what is potential that can come in. If you're looking at the low end and you're okay with that and you strategize yourself to that level, any pump past that, then you know, okay, that was great and I don't think it will stay here. So now let me claim this, let me put this in stables, let me put this in blue chips, and then work around that way.
No, I agree. I mean, it's definitely been with all the new projects that came out, like Lava and Encore, and then even the Storm nodes that I got into, they were all at reasonable prices. And if they rug, well, I'm okay with that. I made that decision, but they're at a decent price to where if they were to go up, that would be awesome. Versus spending thousands of bucks. So I think lately, any of the new projects that have came out, are not nearly as high in pricing as some of the other ones.
Oh, definitely. And I would also say looking at staking options and like pools and different things, but understanding them because not all of them are created equally. And I will say that. I mean, because what you don't want to do is lock your money over to the side and you're making nickels and dimes and you're like, what the hell is this shit? Like once you're used to making passive income. But if it's going to be a long-term hold, 5-10 years, and you put it into something that's between 6 and 11%, that can start adding up over time. So I'm big on the saying, and you'll hear me say, take a pulse of your portfolio. Keep a pulse on your portfolio. Understand it as the markets are moving, as new projects are coming out. When new projects are coming out that are solid, that are replacing some of the old ones, just kind of looking and always be aware of what is going on. Don't over obsess over it, but you'll know when your anxiety levels aren't as high that you're in a comfortable place for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've reached that at this point because everything's kind of leveled out and been in the same price bracket for a while. It hasn't been too volatile, like things all over the place. So I've been happy with that, and I'm cool with that.
For sure. What do you got, Kim? Oh, hold on. What did you have, Obi? I see you undo your mic.
Oh no, go ahead. Let Kim go first. Go ahead, Kim. What do you got? Are you going to add to the
Okay.
Are you going to add to the conversation? Or are you going to change the subject, Kim?
No, I'm
All
gonna
right, go ahead.
add. So just what I thought about the reason why the nodes have gone down is because remember everybody was wanting to get in on Strong because there was nothing else. And then all of a sudden you got all the ones that rugged everybody. And by this time, people with Strong were making tons of money a month because they had gotten into it, months, maybe even a year. No, at least I don't even remember when Strong started, but they had gotten into it and gotten certain amount of nodes at a good price. So they were getting a lot of money and they were spreading the word. So we all started trying to jump in to other node projects that were cheaper. But I also think that let's say if you got 500,000 people who are really just into nodes. So now you had Strong come out, Strong was out, you got all the rugs, and then you had other projects. I think we rotated our money into these other projects, but you're not getting a lot of new people into nodes. This is the same old people trying to get into another node. So your money's no longer going into the same projects that you were pumping, trying to jump into. So I think that's how part of this downtrend has happened. It's if you only had 5 node projects and all the 500,000 people were getting into those nodes, then they would blow up. But there's hundreds of node projects now, and then people don't want to pay too much because they don't know whether they're going to get rugged. So, it just messed up everything, in my opinion.
I think that has a little bit to do with it, but we are still always getting new investors into, because even in our Telegram, we have new people that come in here and then they're interested and they are getting into nodes, but they're not buying as many at one time because of being uncertain. And then you have people, even to this day, heard it today, calling Strong rug. When did Strong rug? I don't know what you're seeing or you're just not following, but you have people that will spread FUD all around. And I don't use that term a lot, but there's a lot of misinformation going around to new investors that isn't necessarily true, and it gets them really scared and nervous.
Right. Yeah, I didn't mean, I did say it, but I didn't mean that no new people are getting into the project. I'm just saying in the numbers that
Where
we're getting
you're
into
saying
it
it's more
before.
compounding.
Hmm?
So you're pretty much saying where more people are compounding than new people buying new notes.
Right. Yes, that's a lot of it, in my opinion. And then when you get into a new node, you're not putting a lot of money into it because you think that it just might rug.
Yeah, true.
True.
Yeah, I don't put too much. I don't put a lot of money into these I call them my tricky plays, because um, I put in an amount that I'm okay with losing if it goes belly up. And I've been in a few of these no projects that have gone to shit, but I'm okay with it. Like what Chris was saying, a lot of people, I think they spread themselves too thin and they bet the house on a lot of these projects, and then they kind of get upset when they don't work out. But I know people hate to lose this, but you really should try to only invest what you're willing to lose. Like you shouldn't take out a $20,000 loan and put it in a project if you're not basically willing to lose $20,000. You know what I'm saying? So people do a lot of that stuff that's tricky, but for me, I keep it to a level where it's not gonna keep me up at night, and it's not gonna have me crying in the corner like a baby. And I think a lot of people just don't keep that in mind. They see something, they get googly eyes, and they just go all in. And then when it doesn't stay at the price they wanted to, or even reach the price they wanted to, they get upset and they want to talk about the project, or they want to talk about this and that. When actuality, sometimes it's our responsibility to make sure that we're investing money that we can afford to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't, sorry, I'm just very spontaneous. I know I'm supposed to raise my hand, so my apologies.
Put your hand up. No, I'm
But
just playing.
on, yeah, I will. Let me just do it anyways. But there we go. No, because like that's just how my brain works sometimes. Because the problem is that you can go on Twitter and you can look at passive income, and you can see how all these people are writing down how it changed their lives and getting into it immediately, and and people are just going and putting everything that they have left, overdrafting their accounts, doing all kinds of stuff to get into this because they're thinking that it's an instant, let's go to XRP, flip of the switch,
Oh,
that they're going
God.
to be able to not have to go to work. That they're going to, that it's just going to be that easy. You just sit and collect, you hit buttons on your computer. Because most people think anything, like that is fairly simple. And if it was that easy, then we'd all have 50,000 members in each one of our chats, and you wouldn't be able to see my hand being raised, But that's why there's only so many people in each one of these groups. I mean, there probably could be a lot more, but their mindsets aren't the same, or they don't believe in it, or they don't know about it. But I mean, that's the problem that I think I see that people do, and then they get a bad taste in their mouth about it, and then they spread it negatively, and then we lose investors. That's why I follow you guys and was part of the Crypto Underground, because if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. Yeah, I know it's risky and it's a gamble, and that's fine. But I have great people like yourself and in Crypto Underground and and around me to not tell me what to do, but kind of give me some input, and then I make my own decision based on all the information I've gathered, based on talking to people who are in projects, and I don't think people really do too much research or put effort into it. They just go buy it and they're like, oh man, you know what? I'm in passive income. I don't have to work. I'm just going to collect. And then it doesn't work that way.
People don't do
Right.
research, because I have people asking questions that about projects they're invested in, and I'm like, so you really didn't know this? So what are you doing? You're just buying shit and you're never reading anything about it. And it kind of annoys me a little bit, because I look at that as being lazy, and you want somebody to basically be your financial advisor and tell you what's going on with a project. And I always tell people, listen, you're not paying me because I don't want you to pay me. But there's only so much information I'm going to give you about a project you're invested in, even if I'm invested in it, because I want you to get into the habit of researching where you put your money. If you don't understand something, that's fine. But if you're asking me questions that can be readily found on their Twitter or in their Discord, in their announcement section, then yeah, then that's why I always say, I tell people, even in our Telegram, there's people that ask questions. I'm like, come on, guys, you got to do some research. I mean, how do you think me and Thomas find these answers? You think that we got David Moss's phone number? Like I can text him right now. Yo, David, what's up? Why are you doing this? And he tells me no. I have to actually go and research it. We have to research the stuff that people ask us, and it takes time. So if we can do it, anybody can do it. That's my motto right there.
Right. And people wanted the immediate answers just the other day with Strong, and I was like, you guys are going to have to give me a minute. I have to read this, and I have to understand it and digest it. And that's why in like our Telegram, we have the bots. Like you can do a price bot, the description bot, it's a gas bot, it's a everything bot. So we are also giving you tools to make it a lot easier. And I have no problem answering questions. But if I feel like you're not trying to look at things yourself, like I am huge on telling somebody, read a damn white paper, read the white paper. That is going to be one of your first things. That's one of the first things I do when I'm going to look at a project. Let me go and see their socials. What is their engagement within their socials based on how many numbers are on there? And then going to their white paper. I can stop. If their white paper is a hot ass mess, I can stop. At that very moment, I can stop. Because if you don't have that dedication, like I was just telling Nodes, like I had to give them their flowers about their white paper, because if you haven't had a chance, it's at the top of our thing. Go and look with what a white paper should look like. That, I mean, they're all going to have different aspects to it because of different projects, but a good white paper gives you the doorway of continuing to research how well that project is going to set up, in my opinion. And this is not financial advice.
No, it's actually kind of like common sense. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, we got to say it sometimes.
Who who's this? WTK. Kim, I'm going to come to you, but WTK, you asked to get on the mic. What do you have for us tonight?
Hey guys, I don't know really. I just hopped in, so I'm just trying to feel the current. And of course, if I had something to say, I'm just gonna hop in. But I hope everyone's doing well.
Well, if you have something to say, you just raise your hand. Just raise your hand and we'll let you and we'll put you back on the mic. Okay. All right.
Yeah, of course, of
All
course,
right,
of course.
Kim, what you got?
I was just sitting here laughing at you guys saying, well, some people need to read the white paper and, go here and there. I just, because I was a teacher, at one time, I just want to remind you that, there are different types of learners, and sometimes it's good to have a way to, speak to somebody, because some people, they just need, they're not good at reading. They need somebody to kind of tell them a little bit.
And you know what? I
That's
totally
all.
understand that. I know everybody doesn't learn as fast as I do. I mean, hell, but that's, you know what? I mean, I had somebody helping me set up my damn pre-search node, and I'm pretty freaking techie, But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is this right here. This is where you're putting your money. And you can't always depend on somebody to tell you what is going on. Sometimes people who have helped you before don't have time to help you today. Sometimes people who helped you last month don't have time to help you this month. So what I'm trying to say is that I understand everybody has their learning curve, but you are still, because this is your money, and I don't know how you're getting your money. I don't know if this is putting you in a bind. I don't feel comfortable with basically devoting myself 24/7 to one person, helping them out. I'll help anybody out. But what I'm not going to do is just be helping you out every day, all day, because you know what? That's going to burn me out. I still have to, think about Oculus here. That's going to burn me out. And, I mean, there's information out there, and, you just have to spread yourself around a little bit. That's all I'm saying, because I feel like people don't really do that in this space. They
Yeah.
really don't. They find one person that's going to help them, and they want to kind of like drain them, and that's not fair to the person either. You want to spread yourself
Oh
out, and you
yeah.
just want to be a little bit more independent. I mean, like I said, I don't mind helping you out, but I'm not going to become like your constant person when you're calling and calling and calling like that. Because I don't have the time for it. I really don't, and Thomas doesn't either. You know.
Hmm. No, I understand what you're saying. And the only thing I'm saying is that, sometimes you'll read a white paper or something, and then you'll still say to yourself you didn't understand something. So, it's good to be able to go somewhere and ask somebody else, hey, I didn't understand this, that, and the other. But yeah, I'm not saying devote your time to one person. I was just bringing up a point. That's all.
Oh, definitely. And if somebody comes to me and tells me that they've read it, they're not understanding, and I've had people tell me that they're a different type of learner, I have no problem. If you've taken that initiative, then I'll sit with you and I'll talk with you. And then I'll point you in different directions. Because a lot of times, also, the projects will have a YouTube channel too, and they have like little informative. Because I won't tell people to go watch an influencer, I'll direct them to either an AMA that's been hosted or something hosted directly from the project. But if somebody's taken that initiative and they're still not understanding, I have no problem helping them. I just don't like people coming and tapping me, well, not really tapping me on the shoulder, but feeling like it. Hey, 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 you, hey, can you spoon feed me now? I don't like the spoon feeding. Like, if I had to learn it, and there's certain like types of projects that OV is really good at. She understands it. And there was certain types of projects that I was good at. I really understood it. Like
And
DAOs was
DAOs or
my
not,
thing. I could
I can't
explain
explain
DAOs.
DAOs. I cannot
Right.
explain DAOs. Have I gotten into them? Yes. But I always defer people to Timeless, because you know what? I don't know everything. And I've been here a while too. It's like some people have, but I don't know everything. I cannot really break down what a DAO is. She can, but I can't.
I can in my sleep. So, yeah, it's just, and we all have strengths and weaknesses. And I believe that is the core of building a community, is you have so many different types of people, different walks of life. There's a gentleman that's in the community with Crypto Underground, and he is like a human calculator. I can't even do on a calculator and formulate what to even put in, and he's already coming with it like this. So I think that's another thing when you're building a community, you get all different types of people. They have their weaknesses, they have their strengths. But just because Oculus and I have the group, we started the Telegram, we have this, I don't want us to be the cheat sheet for a lot of people, is essentially kind of what I'm saying. I want you guys, I want everybody to truly understand what they're holding in their portfolios.
Right. You know what I was thinking about, Timeless? I was actually
What's that?
I was thinking about when you were on Crypto Underground's space talking with what is it? What's that? What is it? Assure. Yes. When you were talking with Assure, when they had their AMA with them, not their AMA, but their discussion with them, it actually kind of made me venture back to one of my 2017 investments that I sold after the pump, and that was QuantStamp. Because QuantStamp is actually they're an audit company, and they're a platform that's actually designed to improve smart track security by auditing Ethereum smart contracts. So, and they're doing it to detect any vulnerabilities. So just like, listening to what they do and what they claim to do and how they claim to be like the top notch and whatever. So I said, let me go back and look at QuantStamp. I first bought QuantStamp on 12/25/2017. It was, I think, 18 cents. It shot up to 78 cents, I think, the following year. I sold it, took profit, which was dumb. And I'm looking at it now, and I was just looking at actually how meticulous they are when they actually audit a project. And I also looked at how many big name projects they've actually audited. Tezos, Alluvium, KeeperDAO, Request Network, Rari Capital, Cardano, MakerDAO, Compound, Scale, Stormex, Serum, IDEX, Ampleforth, Ramp Network, Amise Go, which I also had, and they also did Crypto.com's audit. There's a whole lot more also, and I think you told me, Timeless, that they were booked in January 22, like they were like full. They were so busy and they were full.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they had the complete update saying that, hey, you can request information or a quote, but we can't fully give you a full quote because we're fully booked right now.
yeah, and they're also actually working on the Ethereum 2.0. They're working on that. So I'm kind of looking at like the projects they have done, and you can actually read their audit contracts. Like for Alluvium, they were with their staking because they did the audit for Alluvium staking, right? And there were some vulnerabilities that they found that they, requested that Alluvium fix. Alluvium hasn't fixed it yet, and of course, in the audit contract, it says that all this stuff is on their website. But I'm kind of looking at the companies and the projects that they audited that haven't rugged. You know what I'm saying? So these projects are actually still around, and they're big projects. So I was actually going to and they also did Axe Infinity also, even though they got hacked. But they didn't fix. That's because they didn't fix the vulnerability, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. When they do an audit, they request that you fix certain things that they find, and if you as the project don't decide to fix it, then that's up to you. But I think it was just interesting because it brought me back to QuantStamp, listening to what Assure, and thinking about Surtech and things of that sort, because I forgot about QuantStamp because I sold it so long ago, which I wish I would have held it.
Right. And I thought it was really funny because, like I said, I'm shaking up my portfolio. And we had been talking about QuantStamp when you brought it up to me. And it was funny that I went back and was looking at Civic, because Civic is an identity security thing. And then I went back to AMP. And I'm still trying to retrace my footsteps because I was looking at AMP and it brought me all the way back to QuantStamp. So I'm looking through my history now, like, hold on, how did this connect me back over here? But you're right, when you were sending me all these things of these big projects, haven't rug, they have a good reputation, and that, and they're not a big name, so not everybody's talking about them, but it seems like they are providing some of the best auditing, the security auditing, and having some of the best results that you're seeing, and they're not just doing it off of a buzz or a name. They're truly doing what their business model is saying to do.
Yeah, they just actually need more marketing, and they actually were doing an AMA with some NFT project the other day, and that's like the first time I've actually seen them do anything like that. I mean, and that's the thing too. You know, a lot of projects get lost in the wind because they don't. You know, they're not very active on social media at all, and some people actually need that. And I think if they were a little bit more active with their marketing, I think a lot of people would know about them. But actually just looking at their resume and looking at the projects who actually entrust them with auditing, their contracts. To me, that's I'm definitely going to get back in. I'm still waiting for a decent entry point. But yeah, that's just, I was just bringing that up because ever since that that conversation with Assure, I did some research on auditing and smart contracts and what actually goes into it. Because even if even if a company does do an audit and they actually tell the project about the vulnerabilities they found, and it's actually up to the project to fix those. And I think you were didn't you tell me that they actually keep track to see if they have fixed those vulnerabilities? Timeless, didn't you tell me that?
Yes, I seen that they do it, but when I was first talking about it, I was actually talking about Certic because I just started doing the deep dive again on QuantStamp when you brought it back up to me. But I do know that Certic, if they did your contract, your smart contract audit, that they do keep up to it every month, and every month you get a new a new. It's getting late. They put a number value of how safe or how risky you are. And even just like, because I always look at it for Hector Finance. And every month it goes up and down depending on what's going on within the market.
Right. WTK, you have your hand up. What's going on?
Yeah, I just had a question real quick. So you were talking about Quant Stamp, and they basically audit projects, but like, how do they actually make money by auditing the projects?
Well, it's actually not free to have them audit your project. So they charge you. That's actually how they make money from it, And they're not cheap, and it can be pretty expensive. Sometimes these audits can run into the millions of dollars, especially if you have various contracts for them to audit. Like Alluvium, I think they just did one for them, and that was their staking contract. And I don't know how much that costs, but I know with Cardano, there was a video I saw, and he was explaining why it's taking so long because there was so many contracts that QuantStamp actually had to go through for the project. So, it does cost money, and I think maybe that's also why too they audit certain projects because these projects are able to afford them. You know, these projects I named have some pretty serious backers and have some pretty serious money. So, it's not cheap. That's how they make money.
Right. And they had like some of theirs was Top Sports and Axie Infinity, MakerDAO. Some of these big names, they are the ones doing the security audits on. So you got to imagine, like, I can't even remember what MakerDAO is at, but the price on that was pretty high per each one. So it's going to be a sliding scale, and that's why they don't even give you the prices on their website. If you go and just research, hey, if I want to do an audit, and you just put in the project puts in their information, and then they said they'll contact you with more information to even give you a quote that quote is not staying in stone either. So it's just going to be the amount of work it takes, what all you have them doing, and there's going to be a lot of variables to that. And then on the other side of that, the way that they're going to make money is people investing into them. So not just us as retail investors, but big name companies or people are going to want to invest in them.
Right. They're actually backed by Polychain Capital and Kinetic Capital. Now, if you look up those two and you look up their portfolio, I'm sure you will see some projects that these guys are invested in. Kinetic Capital and Polychain Capital are two of their backers. Go ahead, WTK.
Yeah, but so basically, like, are there ones, or are there like multiple projects that audit other projects, and like how do you know which one is better? Is it like a track record type thing?
For me personally, like I said, when it comes to QuantStamp, I look at the projects who have entrusted them. I mean, if you go on their website, right, you'll find a whole lot of projects that they did audits for. The World Economic Forum, eToro. I can keep going because as I'm reading my notes, because I'm sitting here thumbing through this, I'm thumbing through their protocol for securing smart tracks. I have like 200 pages from them. So as I'm thumbing through it, because I've read it already, but they've done a lot. So also Solana, I'm just looking at, they did something for Solana, OpenSea, Toyota, Top Shot. I mean, Curve. I'm looking at, and these
Top Shot,
projects,
that's what I was
yes,
talking
yes,
about.
Top Shot. These projects are not like projects that are like, you know, gone with the wind projects. These are projects that have been here for a while and have remained, you know, have some kind of sustainability. So their reputation obviously is good because look, I'm looking at who has entrusted them with their audits.
Right. And I go along with the same thing that Oculus was saying. And the fact of the matter is deep diving in them, because I still personally truly do like Certic also. Certic is just a really big name, and they are known as the cream of the crop. But the other thing with QuantStamp is people aren't talking about it. They're not marketing themselves like that. They're concentrating on their job and what they're doing. And really, when you look into them, it's who's entrusted them and what those individual projects have done after their security audit through them. So I'm not saying, hey, everybody in here right now, go out and get QuantStamp. I'm not saying that because we don't make calls and we don't do none of that. But we are just making it aware that Oculus was in it years ago and sold it. But now, since the conversation of security and audits have been coming back up, especially after Assure, KYC, they're not an audit, but it's bringing things back up to the surface that if you are a person who wants to invest in a security company, that is one that is there that you could put in your portfolio.
Right. I'm definitely, yeah, this is not you know, a conversation for you to go out and buy it now. No, I'm just making people aware of it because I don't see many people talking about QSP, and that's his ticker at all. That's why when I see some people talking about it, I'm like, wow, you know, somebody in CU, I don't know who it was, but somebody in CU, when I brought it up, they were real excited. And I was like, yes, finally, somebody else besides Thymeless knows
I
about
think
this.
it was
Yes,
Trader.
Trader. He was like, yes. So, you know, I'm actually glad a few people know about it, you know, but yeah, that's why I'm just bringing it up. Chris, what's up?
Oops, sorry about that. Okay. So, crypto is an unregulated space, right?
For the most part, there's more regulations on the centralized side where it should stay. They're trying to push it into DeFi, but for the most part, DeFi is not as of right now.
So, like, here's the thing that I try to wrap my fingers around, because naturally, by nature, my mind always looks for loopholes or listens to people and tries to look at it through different angles. So, being certified to me sounds like a fantastic idea. And to me, it seems great. But a certification in an unregulated space would mean that there probably are endless amounts of ways to basically and correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I'm just speculating. But you're in an unregulated space, kind of like the Wild Wild West, and you have these companies coming in saying that we're going ahead and, certifying this project or whatever it may be, or, putting their patent on it or their logo or whatever it may be, saying that it's going to be good and that we went through their files. And that holds up in, I don't know, the jurisdiction of the United States. But what if someone like in India or something per se buys, and that certification or whatever doesn't hold up there? I'm just throwing out examples. I'm not too sure if there's not loopholes in the whole entire certification thing, meaning that regardless of what is stamped on it, I still feel like that anything can happen regardless. Just like when we were talking with the Assure people, they put their stamp on stuff and projects rugged. But I just, I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I feel like that, I could come up with a company and, get a lot of good advertisement, good sponsors. I'm not saying it'd be easy or anything like that. I'm just throwing it out there. And, all the good people are behind me. And we're going to sit here and say we're going to protect you. But really, we can't, because we're dealing with an unregulated space. So everything's against us instead of, with us. And then there's probably God knows how many loopholes of what you can get away with.
Right. So QuantStamp isn't ensuring anything but the security of the smart contracts. So, and they have headquarters in Germany, Japan, the US, and Canada. So they have positioned themselves in the world market. So it behooves them to act accordingly. But they're not making any stances of, we are going to protect you and we're going to do this, this, and this. It's what they're doing is they are creating a company that's going to look at the security protocols, the smart contracts, how it works, lay the contract flat, and make sure that it's not a honeypot. It's not one of these things. Right now, most of DeFi is in a loophole because there are patents on most of the things that are in DeFi from Reggie Middleton. He has patents on just about all the types of protocols in DeFi. He's not acting on them right now. So some of the space is already working within the loopholes. And we're not saying, oh, if QuantStamp puts their stamp on it, that project is 100% perfect, go for it. They're just putting their warnings on it. Oh, the contract looks good. Or no, there is some security risks here, and we're telling them to fix it. And then they'll update it. Hey, guess what? They haven't fixed it, so these are still some of the risks that are still there also.
Oh, yeah, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't specifying it to that specific, company. I was just giving an examples like when you were asking questions to that guy from Assure, and and then when I read about KYC, certification or whatever, I'm just like, I don't know if any of that stuff really, what you're talking about, I don't know anything about, so I wasn't really.
Oh, KYC is trash. KYC is trash. I mean,
Yeah.
plain
It's just know your customer.
KYC is
It's know your
trash.
customer.
Yeah.
It's know your customer. Just like I always say, if you know me, you know where I live, whatever, and what's that gonna do for you? Like, what are you gonna do with that? If so you know me.
And I dare you to show
Yeah,
up
you know me.
because you ain't gonna want that when you come.
I mean,
Right.
cryptocurrency exchanges do know your customer, and what do they get from you? Your freaking ID. That's it. That's how they know who you are. That's all that means. That's all that means. Now,
Right.
now, if you're going to actually get into a project because you have somebody ID and you know that they're male, or a Frenchman or a white dude from California or some whatever. I mean, so if that's all you need to get on a project, well, that's on you. But I need a little bit more than that. That's why I do look at companies like Surtech. I do like Surtech too. QuantStamp. And I look at the projects that actually entrust them with looking at their smart contracts and things of that sort and telling them what they need to fix. And then I also go back and see if they fixed it. Like I've noticed Illuvium hasn't fixed their vulnerabilities yet because they don't feel like it's a big deal. Now, I'm not a dev or anything like that, but I'm trying to look into further why Illuvium has decided, nah, it's all right. It's nothing going to happen. We're not worried about that. It may not be a big deal, but at least I can see that they found this, that, and this, and they said they should fix it, and it's up to the project to fix it. Now, you giving me somebody's ID doesn't mean a damn thing to me. That's not enough for me to actually invest in a project at all.
Right. And kind of like when you're looking at, so we brought up QuantStamp and I briefly brought up Civic earlier. So Civic is a protocol. What they do is they protect identity. Like if you have to sign into something, they're an identity protection layer within protocols. So there's different types of protocols that are out there for security. So that's why I'm just like, okay, a KYC can kiss my ass, but I'm going to look to see what steps different projects have went in securing their own protocol. And when they go out and reach out to the main people that are really doing things, even if they're unheard of, really to the mass people, it shows that there is integrity to me within their protocol. Can there still be fuck ups? Absolutely. People are human, and there are some people out there for bad intentions. But I don't think that the ones that are truly out for bad intentions are reaching out to QuantStamps and Civics and Certix and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's actually kind of why I started digging deeper, because remember when I remember after the space I asked you, I said, so they don't actually do audits, and you were like, no. And I was like, well, what the hell?
Hell
I was like,
no.
what the like I'm sitting here thinking that they actually audit smart contracts, and no, they do not. So I'm like, okay, so what the hell do they do? Then I started remembering QuantStamp and remembering what they do. I already know what Certec does. So that's the only reason why I started looking back into it, because I actually thought that Assure DeFi actually did do audits, and they don't. So, and that's why I just wanted to bring it up tonight, because I thought that was a, Thymeless actually being in that space and CU actually hosting it brought me back to QuantStamp. So thank you guys.
No problem. Thank you, because I'm glad you did, because that got on my long-term hold list that I'm going through. OSU Bucks, you had requested to come up. What do you have for us?
Hey, good evening, ladies. How are
Hey,
you?
Yvonne. How are
Good.
you?
How are you?
Hey, good. Awesome space tonight. And Timeless and Oculus, I'm going to put you on the spot because you've been talking about it a little bit, but for me, I know that you guys suggested do a notebook. As a new crypto person, do a notebook and start trying to do your research. And one of the things I didn't put down, like I didn't start writing my gas fees down and things like that were probably important. I was like, but I would write the trade and the amount. Can you guys each, maybe 3 to 5 bullet points, maybe of each one of you, of like, got to have to do when you're writing out your notebook? Because even when I was trying to look at some newer launch programs, and some of them even will have white paper coming soon. And so there was not even a white paper to go look at. And some of the red flags that you guys would see immediately, unsure of what to make of certain things. Is that good or bad? Is a contract something written up at the coin market cap, and it says the contract is doing this, migrating? Is that, how do we look at things like that? So I didn't know if maybe each one of you guys could give 3 bullet points of you saying, you gotta look at this, or this is a red flag.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first, Obi?
You go first. You spoke first.
Okay. So for me, so in my note, I'll break it up into two because what I look for and what I write down are sometimes different. So what's in my notebook is the date, the time, the project, the ticker, the price that I bought it at the exact time, and there is a category for gas because when you start doing your taxes, those are expenses that you can put on your taxes and get kind of a break. So that's not because you're not buying a project, you're not trading a project, that's gas fees. So it's important to have that in my honest opinion. But if I'm looking for a project, if it's a new project, not all of them are going to have white papers. So I would not decide on if I'm going to get into it, yes or no, until that white paper comes out. I definitely go and look at every social from Twitter to Discord if they have it, even if I'm not active in their Discord, because I want to see community and community engagement and how it feels in there. Does it feel like these are paid people? Does it feel like these are bots? Does it? So you want to get a feel of the community. And then probably another huge one would be also then looking at their engagements on their tweets. If they have 15,000 people and they're only getting like 2 interactions per post, then a lot of those people are fake, a lot of those are bots, or they're paid. So then that gets me to doing a little bit deeper dive. But I always do start at CoinMarketCap for the most part if they're on there. And then all their links will be there, and that's kind of what I go off of.
Uh,
Nice.
for me, when it comes to what I detail in my notebook, I'm a fan of tabs. You know, those little sticky tabs that you put on the edge of the paper, because I need to be able to go back and I color code them. That's why I was able to actually tell you guys when I bought QuantStamp in 2017 and what day I bought it, because I put the date and I actually keep good records. I actually put the trading price that I bought it at. I bought it at 11:46 and 2 seconds a.m. I put the fee. I put the total. I bought it with BTC. You know, so things like that actually help you when you actually want to take profit, believe it or not. You know, some people's like, when do I take profit? Well, if you actually put all of that information, the day you bought it, the exchange, what you bought it with, that will help you to see how much money you're losing or gaining when you take profit. Also, you know what? Even if a company, a project doesn't have a white paper, you know, you look at the people. The only reason why I got into Cardano is because Hoskinson worked on Ethereum. And that was a seller for me. Now, a lot of people hate Cardano, just like they hate XRP. Cardano has a lot of, you know, they have a lot of negative people about them. But, you know, that's what I do when I don't find a white paper. I look at the people who are behind it, because, you know, a lot of these people do have a resume. You can Google them and find out exactly who they are. You can find out if they've been a part of a class action, like I have found out for a lot of projects. You know, like there was some fuddy-duddy stuff going on with the money on something they were in before they got into crypto. And I know for me, I'm looking at this book now because I went back to my book when I first started, and maybe I'll take a picture one day and show you guys. But what I used to do is actually print out a little basically synopsis of what the project does. Like I'm looking at something I printed out on 12/17/2017 about Tron, which I also brought and sold, you know. So I think it's all about when you keep records, it's like, what do you want to see when you go back and look? Like, I don't know if anybody here kept a diary before, but like, you know, like when you're reading your diary, does something jog your memory that you wish you would have written down about that day that you wrote something about, you know? So it's all about what you want to see when you go back. But for me, those are the things that's actually helped me when it comes to getting into a project and taking profit. I know some people do not actually write notes like that. They just buy shit and they don't even put all the stuff that I have. You know, how much was the gas fee? You know, what did you buy it with? You know, actually, what time did you buy it? What time did you buy it? What date did you buy it? You know, things of that sort. What exchange? Those things actually will help you when it comes to taking profits. So You know what I always say, you know what, Yvonne, there's no such thing as too much detail when it comes to how you spend your money in crypto. There is no such thing for me as that. So I think the more detail, the better it is for anybody who's doing this.
Right. And I kind of based it on being a business owner and the type of things that I want to see in my records when I go back. Like, oh, I bought this material. This is how much it weighed. This is how much I paid. This is wholesale. This is how much shipping was. So if I want all those details in business, I just kind of traverse that into crypto in crypto terms.
This is awesome because I didn't have half of the things that you guys just mentioned, so I now have to go back and update to bring my notebook up to pace.
And
So
definitely, like you said, you were missing the gas fees. Definitely, if you're doing nodes and your gas, write down your node creation fees and your gas fees because that's going to be beneficial for you when it comes tax season.
okay, perfect. Yeah, and that's helpful because that's the question I had too when you were talking about how to take your profits. When I first started about 2 months ago, I bought Ethereum and it was like 24.50. And when it went up to $3,000, I didn't want to sell it because I was like, no, I was dollar cost averaging and I didn't want to sell the 24.50 price because I was like, no, I got it at least at that price. I know I'm coming in late, but and now I'm looking at it totally different. So I was like, well, how do you take profit? I was watching it go up and back down and up and back down. And it's like it settled back to almost where I paid for it. So I was just watching it for 2 months, just going up and down because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, well, you know what, Yvonne, me keeping notes like this and being a bit anal with it, I think it's just because, that's just how I am. I always keep notes, but I mean, that's how I've been able to know when to take profit. I mean, a lot of people can remember, what price they bought a coin at, but they don't actually put the rigmarole they had to go through. What did you have to do? You had to buy USDC and switch it to Ethereum and all that stuff. They're not even factoring in that stuff. So, I do that. And if anybody here isn't doing that, I'm telling you, it's actually helped me save a lot of money and not actually take too much profit because people tend to do that too. There was an article that I read. If I find it again, I'll post it. They were saying that the biggest problem in crypto is that people either take too much profit or don't take enough. So my method has actually, had me, not actually take too much profit and not take too less.
Right. And another thing that I'm a huge proponent in, and if it's something that you want to hold long term and it's had a really good pump and you can take and you evaluate where and how you want to take profits, you can take that profit and put it into a stable coin. And you can have it in that stable coin until whatever project that is dips down again. And you can double down on your investment at that point also. Or you can take that profit and roll it into a whole new project. It's always going to be based on what you hold in your portfolio, what you want to see, what is your main goal, and know what each project is in a category. Is some of my biggest pointers that I give to people because we can have just a whole mess of coins and it sounds good and you kind of know what it is, but you don't know if it's a collateral token or if it's an exchange token. Is it a governance token? Is it a privacy token? Things like that. And I think when people start understanding the different categories that these coins and tokens are, it allows you to understand a little bit more of where and how you want to take profit. If then you want to put it into that stable coin and then double down on it again when it comes down. So there's a lot of moving variables to it that are going to be dependent on each individual person.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing that I will ask, is there any, and I want to just say, give accolades. Captain Morgan's helped me a bunch with maybe a tips and tricks about certain things, like if you're trying to buy a certain coin and transfer it to another place, maybe a way of saving the gas fees by maybe buying XLM or USDT. Is there any of those tricks or tips that are somewhere on the web that you can go find and say, okay, if you're using Binance or if you're using crypto.com or Coinbase, it's easier to transfer or swap coins into this at lower fees?
It's going to be each individual project. I'm huge on XLM. If I can switch some shit to XLM, and man, it's fast and it's cheap. So I don't necessarily know of one like particular place that you can go and find, oh, if you're doing this, switch it to this. It's typically going to be as you get more experience in the space and you know, okay, if I want to move it to here, what are my options? And you able to go through it. Being able to ask is a huge thing, but as you get more experience, because as you said, you're only in like 2 months in, as you start moving things and you get more comfortable, you'll, oh, if I'm doing this, that's right, I can use XLM. Oh, if I'm doing this, I can use Polygon. If I can, things like that.
Right, because I remember when I started, LTC was the way, was the XLM. Everybody used LTC. I bought my Doge. I first bought my Doge with LTC. So, it changes as time progresses. As you notice, nobody's really talking about Litecoin anymore. So, and now people use XLM. I use XLM for that. I know some people who actually use Polygon, for things of that sort, but I kind of stick with XLM because it always stays at the price that doesn't actually give me so much sticker shock, you know, and it's pretty fast. And for me, it's been reliable. Some people have had certain lags with it, when it comes to trying to move it from an exchange to places like Coinbase and everything. But I've only had good experiences with XLM. So whenever I do cash out, it's just like when I cashed out my SHIB. Let me see, I swapped it to Ethereum, and then I sent the Ethereum to Qcoin, and then I swapped it out, and I cashed out with XLM because it was cheaper that way. So
And
yeah.
don't forget the memo for XLM. Do not forget the memo. You will lose your coins and they will be gone forever.
Oh yeah, that memo is a tricky one, isn't it? A lot of people. It gets a lot of people, doesn't it?
I think in most places there's a reminder on it. But yeah, that memo is huge. I've lost money doing it, just moving too fast. And another thing is I do a lot of stuff on AVAX now, and I like moving AVAX. It's pretty cheap unless there's a big project launching. Then I've been seeing some pretty incredible gas fees. But AVAX has been really fast and pretty cheap. And Sol was there for a while, but then Sol was my baby. But Sol started having its own internal issues, and they need to start really working on their own nodes and scalability for them to kind of keep up with the demand.
Well, this is excellent information. I'm just sitting over here writing away.
I can feel you writing.
Thank you.
I feel you writing. I can feel you writing. I love it.
All right. Thank you for letting me take up so much time. I'll step down now.
No, you're fine.
And so we've had a pretty long night. I know Oculus works tomorrow. If you guys have any more questions, I would request the mic. And if not, we will probably start gearing down for the evening.
Yes, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Definitely, because we had the AMA, we've had a nice discussion. We're rounding out the 3-hour mark, which typically is now where we've been. I do know that when we hit about 4 hours, Oculus is the East Coast, so that kind of eats up into the wee hours of the morning for her.
Yeah, it's 12:04 here in my city. So if you guys don't have anything else to to ask or add, we will end the show and hopefully see you guys next week, Wednesday. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for staying. I see a lot of you stayed after we finished discussing the NFT project with Griffin Kingdom. I see Gord, Yvonne, Bullishetti, Cap, Trouble QZ. Oh, Bruce Wayne, what's up? Nostradamus. I like that name. That name is so awesome. Nostradamus. That's dope. Hey, Bob. Wiz. Wiz is here. Shay. Trophy. We got Miss Liz. Hey, Miss Liz. How are you? She stayed a long time. Miss Liz is also new in crypto. She's been tuning in every week. And we have some new people down there. Hi, Domenico and
I
Donald.
see you, Jay Bree.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Jay Breeze. Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in and staying with us and listening to us, just babble and give our 2 cents on crypto and things of that sort. But we hope to see you guys next week at 9 p.m. Eastern.